Johnny Murray here, and welcome to Player Way Podcast. It is what an interesting, exciting episode we have because, ladies and gentlemen, if you love gaming, I'm so glad you clicked on this video because we have reached the time of the year where it only happens once. The aftermath, at the calm after the storm. Actually, it's not calm whatsoever. After the storm of the Game Awards this year, 2024, the Game Awards has officially now concluded, and we have a lot to talk about because there are so many games that were announced during the Game Awards. There was a bunch of awards given out, a bunch of funny bits and moments I'm sure we're going to talk about as well. It really was just such an incredible time for gaming and gamers everywhere. And look, I'm here joined with Austin as the co-host, like pretty much usual. I mean, it's either him or Jordan, pretty much. Like this is how it works. But I know we haven't even done the intro. We haven't done anything. I didn't even do the normal intro. I'm just kind of speaking right now, so I'm gonna just be the first to say it. Absolutely a 10 out of 10 show. It was just absolutely incredible. From start to finish, there was a little dip, but like when you just look at the content, like you're just never gonna get a show like that again. And yeah, it was just so awesome. But welcome to Player Way, your video game podcast covering gaming news, reviews, and more. We got a banger episode for you today. Super duper excited to jump into it. How are you feeling, Austin?
I'm feeling good, man. I mean, we got, more than what I could have ever expected. I was one of the first people to kind of shut you down that it was going to be a 10 out of 10. But I also just didn't want to think it because I just didn't want to go in with the expectations of that and walk out being kind of disappointed. Not to say I didn't think it was going to be a really good show. I thought it would be a really good show. I thought there's no way it's lower than an 8. Like, I feel like it's the 10-year anniversary. It's kind of hard for Jeff, I think, to know how important that is and to be like, well, I really need this to be like one of the best shows I've ever had because this is really important. It's an anniversary. And I think he did phenomenal. I do agree with you on the 10 out of 10 rating. I think the lowest anyone could give that show is a 9. I think if you give it lower than a 9, I think you're smoking. Or you just only play the most typical games ever, like Call of Duty and 2K and Madden and stuff like that.
If that's what you're into, that's what you're into.
Yeah, which is like, that's okay, but you got to venture out a little bit more, man. There's a lot of games out there that are very good. But no, dude, I loved it. There was honestly a good chunk of stuff that was catered towards me. There's a good chunk of stuff that was catered towards me, more than I thought. And there's just a lot of cool stuff to look forward to. You had companies come out and perform like more than I personally expected from 2 of them in specific, which me and John just will glaze in this video because they deserve it, and it's actually criminal how good they are. But no, dude, I enjoyed it. I think the way Jeff pulled off the show, not even in terms of announcements, I think even the way it was ran, I think he took a lot of the criticism and did very good with it. No issues with speeches not being long enough. Speeches weren't even, in my opinion, the longest ever. I mean, we didn't get one speech, in my opinion, that was like a Christopher Judge, which was like 8 minutes long or so, which like I'm okay with. But in my personal opinion, I think 5 minutes is enough, really. Like I think 5 minutes gives you enough time to hopefully explain almost anything, unless you're like crying and stuff like that. It's kind of hard to, but
yeah,
I think he did a good job. I think the awards were fine. I think the only thing I had issues with were some of the nominations, but I think the winners, all make sense. I don't think anything was really bad. It wasn't really a bad decision. That's always up for debate, though. Yeah, Silent Hill 2 not winning anything. It kind of sucks. My game of the year not winning anything sucks. At least it got nominated. Stellar Blade didn't win anything, which is kind of sad. But I think at the end of the day, if it gets nominated, it's nice to know. But it still would have been nice to, get some stuff that I personally care. I would have at least wanted my game of the year to win something, but at least it got nominated. But unfortunately, Atlas and Final Fantasy they're a different breed. They're a different breed, and
Well, hold on, Final Fantasy only won one thing.
It is what it
You
is.
can't blame Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but
you gotta blame Astrobot and Metaphor. They're the ones that swept the whole thing.
Don't matter, different genre. I'm just messing.
No, but I
don't
agree
know.
with you.
I can't blame Ertree though for stealing a game of the year spot from my
oh
potential
my
game of
gosh,
the year.
Yeah.
It could have been there, maybe.
It could have.
But
I mean, it was either that or Silent Hill, but I guess we'll never know.
It's gonna be so funny if should I say it? If it shows up again next year,
yeah.
that'll be really funny.
We might be looking at another 2025 Elden Ring nomination.
And this one might actually be more Actually, yes, it will be more respected than the decision of this year.
Unless
because,
you are Jordan, because I found out today that this dude has major beef with it. So, but we'll get into that. No, but I agree with you. Just not even just in terms of game announcements, just the show as a whole, production, pacing of it, everything really it really did feel like he took a lot of the feedback and actually changed things this year. Not just the awards and speeches, but the fact that there were multiple times where we were talking about issues in the industry. We were shedding lights on important things. I think the whole Game Changer Award, the whole thing that they introduced this year, I thought that was excellent. I think that's gonna be a moment we'll look back on a lot. I think the Baldur's Gate 3 director talking before giving out the Game of the Year award, I think he was incredible. I rewatched that speech, and this dude said some of the most important things I've ever heard an executive say. This dude was spitting straight facts. And then I actually found the Muppets kind of funny. They actually threw out some jokes where I was like, yo, that was actually pretty hilarious.
Hey man, it's kind of crazy. Did you hear they nominated DLC for the year? What a joke.
Yeah,
Jesus. And that's the thing I love too. It's I still don't understand how exactly this works. I know Jeff Keighley is the host, but sometimes he makes me feel like he really doesn't have a decision whenever it comes to the voting and stuff, which I guess I could see. I mean, if they're literally there for that reason, I would assume they would like to have control, but I still think it'd be nice if the host, could kind of control stuff like that, because I don't even know how he feels about that decision. But I don't think he agrees though, because of that pre-nomination or nomination day presentation where he was like, this is not me. I did not make this decision. I was not a part of this.
Yeah. No, I remember.
So,
but also I think a lot of the bits that they had, Joseph Fares coming out, Sam Lake, his little bit was just hilarious.
That's perfect.
There was just a lot of good stuff. Harrison Ford coming out. It really was a really great show. The musical performance I thought were really great this year. 21 Pilots is relevant again after bro hit that insane note on stage. It's absolutely crazy, but yeah, just an absolutely awesome show. And we haven't even talked about what the heck was even there. And spoiler alert, Jeff cooked. Jeff absolutely cooked. So yeah, we're not even gonna do tradition because we probably haven't been playing. I've been playing Indiana Jones and Marvel Rivals, pretty much what everyone else is playing. So
Marvel Rivals is really taken over a lot of us recently.
Yep. So Yeah, I'm just ready to get into this. Are you ready for this?
Sure, let's do it.
All right.
So like, how are we doing this?
I say
are,
we will go one at a time and just choose the game we want to talk about. Yep.
Yeah. I didn't know if you wanted to do this how we did the Xbox showcase where we did that, or go in order. I didn't know how you really wanted to go about that.
We'll just go one at a time. Pick what we want to talk about.
Okay.
So
who went? I feel like who went first last time?
I don't care. I'm gonna go first. Because
all right, sure. Screw me then. You know.
Yep. All right. Yeah. Sorry. All right. Oh, maybe that was a bad idea. Which one do I do first? Hold on. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna let you go first, Austin.
What, bro? What? How do you go from like?
I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay.
I'm hoping you take one of my options off the board.
Why? Because you're having a hard time like
deciding which one I want to do. Yeah. It's like an honor. It's an honor for a game to be nominated or to be mentioned by Johnny Murr first on the Player Way podcast. That's better than game of the year right there. That's yeah. That'll change your life.
I personally wish like I had. I want to find
just
find
look at your
website.
topsters. Just look at your topsters.
Yeah, but I think it's on my laptop is the problem. I don't think I can. I personally just wanted to pull up a list where I literally don't have to like, so I don't forget anything.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, let me see. I'm gonna do this real quick. It's all good. I already have my first one.
Like, not even in terms of just like the games, all of them looked amazing, which almost all of them did. The studios that were at this show, what a freaking lineup. Like, oh my gosh. It's like a compilation of just some of the best creators and studios in the world, man. Like, it's just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and some big, really surprising ones too that I would not have expected. Okay, I think I found one that's pretty good. Yeah. This is. Let me make sure this. Okay, this is fine. This will be good. All right. So the first one I want to talk about. I mean, I'm just gonna talk about my favorite. We're gonna go to my. Probably at this very moment, I can't think of anything else. It has beaten RGG for me. I want to go to my most anticipated game. Huh?
RG2 time?
Yeah. No. I want to go to my most anticipated game on my list so far, just for anything that is coming out at the moment.
Plucky Squire 2.
We're going to go to Hazel.
Okay.
No, bruh. We're gonna go to Hazelight's game that they showed.
Split Fiction.
Yep, Split Fiction, baby.
I love that
Finally showed it. Knew it was gonna be there because of the Twitter posts that they had. Which is quite surprising because before I do say anything, it's weird because they had that whole like, more news like this year. Bro, I'm shocked we didn't get Double Fine's game. Like, they said this year we're getting info. Unless they just lied, which, I mean, or things changed, I don't know. And I don't see another event coming up anytime soon.
Maybe
like,
they're at
this month.
Developer Direct.
I have no idea, man.
Who knows what Xbox is cooking now? Like, Outer Worlds really just jumped in and was like, hey, I'm happy now. Like, what the heck?
That's so weird. Like, I would not have expected that. But yeah, I want to talk about Hazelight's next game. It is now my most anticipated game on my list on Topsters. I mean, it's just... I mean, this is the same studio, if nobody knows, that made A Way Out. And also Game of the Year winner, It Takes Two.
And A Brother's Tale.
They're a phenomenal...
Two Sons.
Yep, and A Brother's Tale, yes. And they are just like they're they're a special breed, man. I quite literally, when I saw this game, part of me wanted to cry. I feel like the reason why is just because I love when, a team, you can tell the products that they make have a lot of love and respect put into them. And that's just all I see whenever I look at Hazelight's products. And especially seeing Split Fiction, I'm really happy that Split Fiction is still kind of staying in the It Takes Two direction, kind of looking pretty like a platformer, but also in some ways combining with A Way Out. It feels with its more realistic kind of vibe it's going for. Like especially with the characters, because we're playing as real people instead of like you played as two little dolls and It Takes Two. But I was super excited for this. I love Joseph Fares. I love him because, like I said, you can tell that man cares. I mean, he just loves video games. And he's not wrong. Every time he talks, he might be cocky, but hey, athletes, like, think about it. Athletes in the world are cocky. You have to be cocky to be number one. You have to tell yourself you're the best. You have to tell yourself you're one of the best up there and you can make something good happen. And I think I love Joseph for that, and I love how much confidence he has. And he's not wrong, man. They mess things up without messing things up, and it's facts. It's 100%.
Yeah.
And with the trailer, that's literally what they did. They showed off once again potential Game of the Year contender. Interesting storyline. Two female characters based off his daughters, Mia and Zoe. I think I got those right. I think Zoe is right. I think it's Mia. You have these two characters, kind of like the short synopsis story is they're both trying to become writers. Go to, I guess, this laboratory or something, or particular like scientific area or whatever. I don't know. But they go there to try and become like writers, and one of them writes fantasy, one of them writes fantasy, and then the other one writes
Sci-fi.
What was it? Sci-fi. Yes, I almost said medieval for some reason. And then I guess somehow they get sucked into the like both worlds of their writing, I guess. And they've kind of hinted at like there's a scientist who's trying to steal their writing styles and use it towards creating a world that he can. It's a little weird on how it works at the moment, but Hazelight is not really, in my opinion, known for having like stories that are supposed to blow you away. They're just supposed to be interesting stories that keep the progression of the gameplay going. But I just love it. I love the idea of it because I really thought in my head, how do you get more creative than It Takes Two? Because It Takes Two is one of the most creative platformers I've seen in a hot minute, including some other titles as well that are in the platforming genre. But they did it again. They literally just said, you know what? Here's our plot points. Someone writes sci-fi, someone writes fantasy. We can put those elements into our game. We can combine them. We can do all sorts of wacky and crazy ideas with it. And I love that. I really do. And I think once again, they've killed it. They had a phenomenal trailer. I think the only issue is I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about it as much just because there was some really huge announcements there. But I do think it was one of the best announcements there. They once again showed off why they're a studio to be, to look after, a studio to look out for their games when they release. And I'm excited when it comes out on March 6th. I'm ready.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I love about this trailer is that it completely sold the game in just like its first trailer. Like they showed so much of it. They told you exactly what it's about, what their inspiration was. They showed you how it was gonna play. It was literally just the selling point trailer. It comes out in 3 months. Boom, pre-order it now, which is what I just did actually at GameStop. I have the receipt right here, yeah, I mean, it looks great. It really does look like just It Takes Two next gen, and It Takes Two was for next gen. So, it's kind of just like, I don't know. I personally find the actual concept of this way more interesting than takes two. So I'm definitely super excited to see how that lands. I love the fact that it's fantasy and sci-fi. I think that's really cool. Two of my favorite settings, themes, whatever you want to call it, genres. Um, yeah, and I agree with you. You can just tell from every pixel, every frame that this is just a passion project, and they know what they're doing. Like, I was watching Kind of Funny podcasts, their review of the Game Awards, talking about all the games, and when they were talking about Split Fiction, two of them actually went to go preview the game before the Game Awards, so they actually knew about the game, and they actually played it before it was announced, but they couldn't say anything because it wasn't announced. And they were saying how Joseph Ferris was like talking with them. They were interviewing him, and he basically said that in the office, the way we create these games is if anybody has an idea, no matter how weird or stupid, just blurt it out, and that can turn into a level or a stage. Like the whole hot dog thing, somebody just blurted out. How funny would it be if you turn into a hot dog and now it's in the game? So like, you just know they have so much fun with it, and you just know that they just love it. And
dude, that's why I love platformers, man. Platformers, I think they can be some of the most creative games ever. Like, and I think that's why. I mean, you see it all the time. It's some of the most creative and wacky ideas you'll ever see, and I feel like it's just a lot harder to translate to a lot of other genres.
Yeah, it's one of the only genres where you can bend and completely change what like reality is. You know what I mean? Like, because like, okay, God of War, it's super fake and it's super fiction and it's completely over the world. But at the end of the day, like, there's actual gravity. There is like, there like there's people. There's like blood in your body, like bones, like you have to make it seem real, even though it's completely not. Whereas like platformers, you could literally care less. Like so
and I don't see them turning Kratos into a hot dog.
Right,
so.
Exactly. I mean, because like if there was a level like that, then God of War would, So platformers really is one of the only genres where you can just go above and beyond without caring about like making it still feel immersed in a way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so super duper excited. Always with a game like that, like you said, I'm not looking for the craziest of stories. I'm looking for an interesting plot for sure, but like I'm not looking for something to make me cry, to make me like get extremely hype. I'm looking for really creative and innovative gameplay, and we've already seen that with the trailer. So super excited to play.
It's what they're gonna give us.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, absolutely awesome announcement there. And I agree with you. It probably will be another Game of the Year contender. The only reason it won't be is because next year looks insane. It's gonna have a lot of competition. But I wouldn't be shocked if it makes the cut. God, just think how many 90 pluses we're gonna have next year.
It is quite crazy. Like,
there's gonna be a lot. I think at least 6. I think at least 6.
Yeah,
I think that might be a low ball too.
I was about to say, man, we'll see, because we have some heavy
especially
hitters
if
coming.
Nintendo pulls through with some of the goods. Because like if Mario's there, boom, instant 90. Metroid Prime probably gonna be 90. Like GTA is obviously gonna be a 90. Like there's just so many games that could easily be a 90.
Yeah. And who knows if like remakes are gonna hit that mark.
Metal Gear's for sure probably gonna be 90, so it's just
like it's crazy. Like I don't know. It's gonna be like we said. There's gonna be oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, like we've said it. There's gonna be a lot of snubs next year.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I think it's going to be really hard to decide because you're still doing your award show this
This
year.
year, yeah.
Uh, good luck next year.
Well, see, so what I'm gonna do, I have the power, unlike Jeff. I'm gonna just make it like 8 nominees for game of the year because I don't know if I'm be able to cite. I'm gonna like cry while I'm making the nominees. I'll be like, no.
Yeah.
Bro, it's gonna be so hard. But yeah, super duper excited for Split Fiction. All right, moving on. The game I want to talk about. Y'all probably didn't see me starting with this game. Unfortunately, you did not take one of the games I wanted to start with off the board, so I've kind of just made a decision here now. I'm going with what was my biggest surprise of the whole show.
Okay.
RGG Ryuga Gotoku is making a
Yeah.
Virtua Fighter game.
Oh, screw you. That was my next pick.
Holy smokes, man.
Yeah.
Like, you have no idea how much more I like RGG now. Like, literally, anytime we would have the conversation, like, how good RGG is, I'm like, oh, yeah, they're awesome. I don't know if I can call them, like, a top-tier studio because they've only made one thing, like, for all these years.
Bro, I knew. I knew they were destined for greatness. I don't care if they made one thing. They don't miss. One game has been not good.
And now they're making Virtua Fighter, which is one of my favorite fighting game franchises. You guys know I love fighting games. Even though over the recent years I've definitely have gotten less into it. Not I'm less into it. I just play it less. Like, I still get really excited for all of them. I just don't.
At least you'll play them.
I don't put in like 100 hours into each one like I used to. Like, I put in not like maybe 20 hours into Tekken. It's funny. I feel like I play more fighting games, but I play less of fighting games. If that makes sense. Like, I play more. You'll play different ones. I just don't play them for as long. So
you'll play more fighting games than most people, but you'll put less time into them than the people that do end up playing a fighting game, really.
Yeah. Yep. But Virtua Fighter has always been one of my top ones. I mean, it's always been Mortal Kombat, Injustice, Virtua Fighter, and Tekken. I would say I've always been my top, and Smash, I guess. But those always been my top ones. Because the reason I love Virtua Fighter is it's the only one out of the whole bunch that genuinely feels realistic in a way. Like, it genuinely feels like a fighting simulator at times because it's a very competitive fighting game. It's not just like, let me click X and Y and see this insane flashy combo. No, you have to click like 8 buttons in order to do something relatively cool.
Yeah.
Because like you have to just like one punch. You have to like there's a lot of strategy behind Virtua Fighter. It feels like a real grounded fighting game while still feeling like this is like a Tekken kind of game, just without the look and feel of Tekken. So that's why I love Virtua Fighter. And just some of the characters I'm really excited to see, like what they look like in the game. I'm excited to see what stages they got. I'm excited to see what just the game looks like, period. We got that little glimpse of gameplay in the trailer. Yeah.
Real quick, just keep yapping. I gotta go put that pizza in the oven.
Okay. We got a little glimpse of what the gameplay looks like in the trailer. It showed it on like a little TV screen, and it looks like what I would imagine Virtua Fighter to look like in my modern age, and that just gets me so excited because the thought of Virtua Fighter with current gen hardware has always excited me, and it's why I've always wanted them to announce one. And so the fact that it's here, the fact that it's real, the fact that it happened, it just gets me so excited. And the fact that it looks cool, it looks good, and what's even better is I feel really confident in it because of Ryuga Gotoku, the studio making the game, the studio that's worked on all the Yakuza games, the studio that's worked on all the Like a Dragon games. They, like Austin said, they've never missed with that franchise. Granted, we haven't seen them work outside of that franchise yet, but I have no doubt. Like, they're still working on a Sega IP. Fighting has a lot of aspects about Yakuza that can easily correlate, I think. And I just think it is a really good fit. And I'm just excited to see more, and I'm excited to see how it lands. Because I do love me Virtua Fighter, and I think RGG is a great studio. So, yeah, Austin is back, so he's getting
Yes,
comfortable.
I'm back. Yeah, I had to go up and put a pizza in the oven. But it's 5 meat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, stuffed crust. So, So, probably while I was gone, you were glazing RGG, as you should.
Sure.
You know, I still stand by it. Sega's best studio.
Oh, yeah.
It's so debatable between
Yeah.
Atlas and RGG, but I think if
I'll say
I think
yes
if
now.
I'll
say yes
I think
now.
if they get Virtual Fighter right, I think there's no debate because that is a completely different genre.
Yeah.
That they have never really worked on. The first thing I want to say about Virtual Fighter 6, man, have you seen
We don't know it's
the
called that yet, by the way.
I think it is. I think it is.
It's just called a new Virtua Fighter. That's literally it. Look at the trailer on Sega's channel. It's literally just called a new Virtua Fighter trailer.
Have you seen the direct
Yes.
that they had? Okay. I thought in the direct they said it was Virtual Fighter 6. I thought, or they may have just said
it was
Virtual Fighter.
They said it was the 6th installment, but they didn't say it's called Virtua Fighter 6.
Yeah. Well, whatever it's called,
Or
it's gonna be good.
Mainline entry is what they said.
Yeah. Whatever it's called, it don't matter. It's gonna be good. I have more confidence in this than I ever could. Not only because they picked the best studio from Sega to work on it. I'm gonna stand on business with that. And it's the original team that is collabing with, Ryuga Kotoku to help development of this. And I am sorry, I almost cried watching that direct. I almost cried because once again, the passion behind it is insane. They literally sat on that direct and said, Virtual Fighter is too important to Sega as a company to let it die. And I'm like, this is what I want from literally every company. Yeah. You don't create IP to let it die. You don't. It's stupid. There's no reason to let something die. Like, yes, every franchise at some point may not exist at some rate. Mm-hmm. But you might as well continue to do it as much as you want if you still have the ability to, unless you end off a story and there's nothing else to tell. But if you still have the ability to do that, don't stop doing it. And that's what I loved about the direct. And I'm glad I watched it because it was genuinely emotional. You look at these developers and these directors that are talking, and they literally are talking about how thankful and how passionate they are about this project. And I think for even the main team to collab with RGG is something that I feel like it means they care and they want the product to be a lot better. They want different ideas to come in, different, thought processes to help with development. And I love that. And I think with a strong and powerful team such as RGG, combining it with the team that originally made, Virtual Fighter 5, I think it is incredible. And I really don't know how you mess it up. I mean, and even let's say if it has like a rough start or something, they'll fix it. I think they care so much, they'll do whatever it takes. I mean, it's very important to them. They've said how important it is. And I just have to commend Sega, man. I really do. I have to commend them for, doing what they want and doing what they think is right, which is pushing out games that they want to make. And I'm glad they're not sticking to what I feel like the industry is going towards, which is just kind of sticking to the safe stuff and putting out anything that's very big. and I like that they're trying to do whatever they can. So I'm really happy about it. It's very impactful to me. I think it's definitely gone up on my list because of the direct that I saw, because of, like I said, how much they're pushing for it, and
It's like right
it's just
outside
it's
of my top 10.
inspirational.
It's like right outside my top
Yeah.
10. I like
Oh,
in my
it
head.
didn't
and
even make your
heart-
top 10?
Bro, that's what I was.
Oh, for your
That's what I was like about to say. Is like
for your topsters.
yes, for my like
Okay.
of
okay.
all games
I
of
was
all
like,
games.
yeah. Okay.
Because like in my heart and in mind, whenever I think Virtua Fighter, I'm like, oh yeah, bro, that is like a top 5. And then when I think about all the other games, I'm like, oh, there's too many games.
Yeah.
But like it is like S tier, like like it's for sure like one of my top ones. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, to kind of like bounce off what you said, like also during the direct, one of my favorite things that they talked about, the director, whenever he was talking, is like, when I got the word that we were going to be making a new Virtua Fighter, like you said, they were so excited, and they really couldn't believe that they were having this opportunity. And he basically said that, like, even before they started, like, doing anything, like, he wanted to make sure he was doing it right. And so he asked himself this question: what is Virtua Fighter? And that is like such a great thing to like just ask yourself. It's like, oh, like if you got the green light to make a Mortal Kombat, you're probably be like, oh, I wonder what cool fatalities we're gonna do this time. Instead, he was like, you know what? What is Virtua Fighter?
Yeah. And
what
then
is Virtua Fighter? And he was like, and to me, it is. I forget what the second word was, but he said innovation and something.
And I think he was trying to say he wants it to be like one of the best fighting games ever
of all time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, that really does just show passion. Like, they're not just making it to make it. They're not making it because it's in their contract. They're making it because they want to. Like, and they feel honored and privileged to be able to do it. And I love that. I really, really do. Like, and I'm going to make a bold prediction. Look, I've been making a lot of bold predictions this year, but guess what? A lot of them have come true. A lot of them, including the Game Awards being a 10 out of 10. But I'm going to make another bold prediction right now. I think that this Virtua Fighter game will probably be my favorite fighting game of the whole generation. That's my guess. That's my prediction.
All right.
And I feel very confident about that because Mortal Kombat did not hit the way I wanted it to. Otherwise, it typically it would be a NetherRealms fighting game. But Mortal Kombat did not hit. But yeah, I'm super duper excited for Virtua Fighter, whatever it's called. I'm sure it'll be called Virtua Fighter 6, but like, who knows? They might call it something else for all we know.
Yeah, because Revo was not it.
No, Revo's the remake. Of whatever. Yeah. Very hyped about that. Also, yes, to what you were saying about like studios like not just doing projects that are huge and that are gonna make the most money, but like bringing back old franchises, doing things just because you want to or because the fans have actually asked for it, is exactly what the Baldur's Gate 3 director was saying in his speech before handing out the award. He was literally talking about like, sometimes making games isn't about looking at the spreadsheet and checking the numbers. Sometimes it's about checking your community and looking at their thoughts. Like it's stuff like that. Like, just because something doesn't go right doesn't mean you have to lay off a studio. Sometimes that means you let them do what they do best. And it's just like, that is exactly what Capcom and Sega are doing. This whole show was genuinely a demonstration of what to do in gaming. And the two companies that are doing it the best were the MVPs of the show. So, like, it really is just super duper, just awesome to see them cooking in Japan. You love it.
And it's really funny because like a lot of the stuff that that we guessed that those like companies would show. They just didn't. They
Oh
they
my
did quite
gosh,
the
dude.
opposite.
Low key, we gave, so fun fact. Before we move on, like my mom watches the Game Awards with us because she just finds it really entertaining, even though she has no idea what's actually going on. So, but beforehand, me and Austin, we told my mom like a list of like 25 games or something that would possibly show up, so that way if we start going crazy or getting excited, she can look at her note and be like, oh, it's that game, okay, so that's why they're excited. Only one game out of that entire list ended up being there. I don't even remember what it was. What was it?
No, there was more than one.
No, there was literally only one. There was only one. I think it was
there's no
game.
way.
I think it was Hazelight's new game.
There's no way it was just one.
It
I feel like it
was.
was two.
I'm telling you, it was one.
I'm a fact check you on that later.
Go ahead.
That's ridiculous. There's no way.
But
I don't. It's not that I don't believe you. I just think that's ridiculous.
I know. It's crazy. But we were basically saying that if even like 5 of those things on our list came true, it would be like an awesome show.
Yeah.
None of them came true. Well, only like 1 or 2 came true, and it was still a 10 out of 10 show because they just announced the most insane games at this show. Like we were genuinely surprised on how many new game announcements there were. Very little updates and just completely boom, blockbuster drops after blockbuster after blockbuster. Like it was just insane what they were cooking. But yeah, all right. Actually, another fun fact. I was gonna say this before, but I said I'd wait for the podcast. Try and guess what my mom's top 3 games of the show were, like announcements.
Well, it definitely ain't any with gore or blood. She don't like that. Hazelight?
Hazelight was number 2.
Okay, that makes sense. Yep. Oh man. Oh, here we go. Hold on.
I like how you keep calling it Hazelight instead of Split Fiction. It's hilarious.
Well, I because I'm mentioning the goats. Hold on. I'm gonna have to mute in like 2 seconds here. You're about to hear a lot of noise. Hazelight. What other family friendly games were there? Yep.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you right now, Austin is wrong. There is one gory game. I mean, it wasn't like super duper gory, but like it's definitely gory. The trailer had some gore though, for sure. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It's just hearing my mom's thoughts. She was telling me like what her favorite games were and stuff like that. Though her number 1 makes perfect sense to me though. Like it makes perfect sense because like I even remember watching it, and which also I can't wait to talk about that because I think that's also a sleeper pick of this whole show. I just remember watching it and being like, she is gonna like that one for sure. But yeah, I think Austin's back. Maybe. He's muted. You'd love to see it. Oh, there you
go.
Hello.
All right. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay. Continuing like I was saying. Hazelight. Oh man. I'm trying to. All I'm thinking is the stuff that I love.
I'll tell you right now, one of them does have gore in it. One of them does have gore.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I have no. Does Harrison Ford count?
She was pretty hyped about Harrison Ford.
Yeah, that's probably her favorite thing.
No, her favorite thing was the Arcane musical performance.
Nah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Dude,
All right, well, anyway, her number 3 was The Witcher 4.
Really?
Yes, because she knows what The Witcher is because of Netflix. Because she likes Henry
Oh.
Cavill.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, Stage Fright.
yes, that is her number one.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, I knew it. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I knew it. Yeah, after I looked it up.
Yeah. After I looked through this list of everything that was there, I just
Yeah.
had to remember what was family friendly. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I
Ugh.
just found that kind of interesting. Just hilarious.
Mhm.
But
Well, it's my turn now.
yep.
So I am going to kind of bounce off what you just talked to.
Yep.
Which is a game that, you talked about, or both of us have, how Virtual Fighter 6 feels like a dream, and it's an opportunity to, make something that really a lot of people, including them, did not think would come back in some regards.
Well, I know where it's going.
And I think
I know where it's
And I think this next game is another prime example of something that is an opportunity that I think a lot of people would not have expected to get. We're going to be talking about the Okami sequel.
Oh,
the Okami sequel.
It. Oh.
What do you mean, bro? They got Hideki Kamiya back on the project. It is an opportunity of a lifetime, and you would have never expected it to come back. But they're doing it.
I'm glad
they're doing it.
I'm so glad.
With the new studio. Yeah, you thought I was going to say the other one.
I know, because I wanted to say that one, so I'm so happy you did it.
I know. I personally wanted to, but I was like, you know what? I want to bounce off everything you said, and I think it fit more for this game personally.
I think both of them. I think both of them fit.
Well, yeah, but I think I think the Okami sequel fits more just because it has so much going for it. I mean,
there's possible odds to happen.
Literally Hideki Kamiya is back with his own. They just gave him a studio too. They're like, hey, here you go. Here's your own studio. Make the sequel. And he's like, that's what I want to do anyways. Thank you. Thank you, Goats.
You know who Hideki Kamiya was before?
Yeah, he was on Platinum Games.
Good job.
Yeah. No, I know that. I've seen. Yeah, I know that because I've seen a couple tweets being like, "Oh my god, I hope like Platinum Games is gonna be okay." I'm like, bro, we'll see, man. They're still cooking.
Mess them up.
Yeah, I don't understand what happened there. I really don't.
That's crazy.
I didn't even know
since that.
When did it come out?
Bayonetta, I guess, right? Is that the only?
I don't know if it came out before or after. When was Babylon's Fall?
I think 2022.
2020 was
because I was working at GameStop. So
was 2023 Bayo?
2022.
Yeah, because it won. I don't know which one then. I don't know which one it is. Yeah.
Also, Bayo
it's
didn't
between
really sell well either. So.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Just make the next Nier game.
It's quite
that easy.
confusing. They need to make it multiplat. That's why. I think that would have really helped.
Oh, yeah, Bayo,
but Nintendo wanted that exclusive, which I get. But yeah, the Okami sequel. I wouldn't say it's like super super high. Like it's up there on my list, but I do realize how important this is. As a person who bought Okami like a while back and has yet to play it yet, but it's on my list at the moment, it gives me even more of a reason to play it. I kind of wish I waited though, because it went on more of a sale than I thought. And it's like dirt cheap now, but it's all good. They can have more of my money. But I think it's super cool to see that show up. And I knew it wouldn't be the last announcement. I kept thinking to myself, Mr. Like I kept saying 15 minutes, and he's like, well, you said that's the last announcement. I'm like, I don't care what Jeff Keighley says, bro. You got 15 minutes left of the show.
You didn't say anything either, buddy. All right.
Yes, I did. We look back at the recording. Look back at the video.
Okay.
I was sitting there being like, I was like, this ain't the last thing they're showing. There is no. You have 15 minutes. You ain't spending 15 minutes on an award. There's no way. Absolutely not. Like that's crazy. So I knew it wasn't the last thing. I couldn't believe it. Because yes, it is a big announcement. It is a huge announcement. It just does not feel like a show closer. It just doesn't for some reason. And it's not to say Okami is not something huge. It just didn't feel right to end it off on that. I don't know why. Like I don't know.
Well, see,
like,
the reason I knew it wasn't the last thing is because they didn't even change the screen to the trailer. Like it wasn't even like an actual trailer. It was literally just like an art thing, and showed up like with the logo. So as soon as like it wasn't like a like actual trailer where like the whole screen went to the like the footage, I was like, there's no way they're just gonna end like that. So, but I will say, Jeff, bro. Jeff hyped that thing up like he was presenting God to the audience. Like,
bro felt like he was gonna cry. Like he was kind of stumbling on his words. I legit thought he was gonna cry.
Dude,
like,
me too.
Does Okami like mean everything to him?
Well, I mean, Okami does mean a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah,
it's a very small group of people, but there are people for sure.
Yeah, only like a small group of 4 million people, you know.
I mean,
because it sold like 40 million copies.
I mean, in today's day, that isn't like. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
that's not small, but like to some games it is. But I don't know. To me, it's just obviously Jeff has some kind of personal connection with that game. I mean, same thing. Like if I was the host and I was presenting a new Pokemon Snap or something, I'd probably cry. Like be like, today, I am so honored to present to you the next installment, Pokemon Snap franchise. But like, so obviously he has some kind of personal connection to it, and obviously, Konami is gonna hit deep for a lot of players as well. So it is really awesome. I generally just love the way they led up to it. Jeff talking, and then the whole drum segment, and then the whole orchestra came out as well. And it just showed Okami's sequel with Hideki Kamiya. Yeah, Kamiya. Right? Yeah. And so it was just a great moment. But I agree with you. It just as much as it is, as much as it's an awesome announcement, I'm not trying to downplay that. It just was such a weird, like, presumably last announcement. Like, there were like it almost would have just felt really weird if they genuinely did just end the show on it. Like, I think
the problem is we have to accept it. I just don't think Okami is the biggest thing you could save for the end.
No, it's not.
And that's the thing is like you have to have the biggest things at the front and the back.
Yeah, and the problem is you are comparing it to the opening, and the opening was Witcher 4. So it's like like comparing Okami to Witcher 4, like Okami may be just as good in terms of quality. I don't know. I haven't played it, but like
if you're comparing sales,
right? If you're comparing size and like popularity, it's a fraction. So it's so it is just so interesting. But I mean, I love how they treated it though. Like I love the light that they gave it, and the moment that they just let it shine. I think it's really cool. Like I definitely think because of that, and I think because now it's getting so much more attention, I do think the sequel has a chance of becoming like almost like an Astro Bot hit type thing, where it's just like blows everyone away, and everyone just kind of falls in love with it, in a way, because it's different, it's new, it's fresh, you know.
Yeah.
So, very excited, and that is just another Capcom IP back, in its full glory. This one's definitely a ways away. Like I think 2027, the earliest, absolute earliest. Yeah. But nonetheless, it's happening. It's happening.
Yeah. It's all right, man. And then next year, right after 2028, Dino Crisis. I'm telling you, it's coming back. There's no debate. There's no debate. They literally, what franchise have they yet to do? Dino Crisis. I mean, they put out.
You could say
they put out a survey.
But like, not really.
But it's coming. They literally said it's coming back.
Yeah.
They literally already confirmed.
Then I guess Devil May Cry would be the most gone one then.
Yeah.
'Cause
I'm
that was
telling you,
2019.
Capcom has their next 10 years. I still stand by that. I know that's crazy, and it's not really realistic in my opinion,
No,
but
actually, no,
I'm
actually,
gonna keep it real,
I
bro.
saw I saw a post today. Like apparently, it's claimed that they have a deep pipeline of games already planned out.
Good.
So, yeah,
Good.
you might be right. Literally. Also, I guess Dead Rising. Like, unless you count the remaster, we haven't gotten a new Dead Rising in forever. But
I mean, it's something new. That the
yeah,
franchise is alive,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's
I mean,
not
just
dead. That's
anything,
for sure. It's not dead.
you know.
But
It's crazy.
super
It's insane.
awesome. And that is and what we're talking about Capcom is just bolstered by the next game we're gonna talk about, which is my probably my second.
You taste so
Oh, dude, they are delicious. Let me tell you, this is probably my second most like favorite game from this whole show. Onimusha, Way of the Sword. This is so funny to me because in like July, June, around that time, me and Austin were like adding games to our backlog, and we were like doing it by companies. So we like started with like PlayStation, and we went to like Ubisoft, Square Enix, stuff like that. When we were doing Capcom, we just started looking up all their old games, and we came across Onimusha, and we were like, man, we've heard about this game. We just have no idea what this is. So we looked up gameplay on it, and we were like, this looks cool, but it looks so dated. Like this looks like it'd be an absolute pain to play in 2024.
Yeah.
But we were like, I like its vibe though. Like I would love to see like this come back and like what like current technology like Onimusha could look like. But we haven't heard anything about this franchise in forever. Like the franchise is pretty much dead, so we'll probably never see. But it's just interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, Onimusha Way of the Sword is officially happening, releasing in 2026. This is my kind of game, bro. Like samurai, like gritty, super like Sekiro looking. Like
Bro thought it was Sekiro.
I really did, bro. I really did.
That's why I said to hop back, because also I understand, but also they showed Elden Ring, bro. I was like, no, there's no way they showed two things here.
Yeah,
there's no way.
It really
but in that moment, it's you're not thinking about that. You're just thinking, oh my gosh, this looks so like,
dude,
you know, this looks so familiar.
Dude, it was 1-for-1 Sekiro, I swear. And then next thing you know, it said Capcom Presents, and I'm like, what are we watching right now? And then you were like, isn't it that O game, the O game? And I was like, Onimusha or something like that.
Yeah, I said Onimusha, I think.
Yeah.
Or Omnimusha. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. But you see, obviously it's Capcom, and they are here's what I was gonna say this before the podcast, but I ended up saving it for this. I've come to the decision and the revelation. Capcom is my favorite publisher, even over Xbox.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. I knew. I
genuinely, especially this year, Resident Evil has shot so far up my like adoredness list. Devil May Cry, I fell back in love with. I beat a Mega Man game for the first time ever this year. No, that's Cap. I beat 11 already. I beat 11 again this year, and I love that. Exoprimal I had fun with last year, but then just everything Capcom, I've just been
Kunitsugami.
So. Oh my gosh, Kunitsugami also.
Yeah, I got you, bro. L.
Everything. I got you, bro. L
Capcom fan.
Yeah.
Couldn't even remember that he
But,
played
like,
a game that he literally
so
praises
much,
and is like
bro.
underrated.
Bro, there's so many games. And just everything Capcom has just been hitting so deep for me. And now with these two, I'm just like, There's like nothing Capcom I don't love at this rate. Like everything I just genuinely love from Capcom. Some things are my favorites now.
You end up playing Dead Rising?
I did. I didn't beat it, but I played it. I mean,
Yeah.
I've beat the game like originally, so but like
Yeah.
I didn't beat the remaster though.
Yeah, I did I have yet to beat the true ending, but I forgot how annoying the true ending is. Oh god. Like where you strip you down, you have nothing, and you have to get all your stuff back, and then people with guns are some of the most annoying things in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have so much health, and
But
then you get
also-
caught, and then you have to redo it again. So.
But also the like Marvel vs. Capcom collection happened this year as well, and
Yeah.
that was like just insane. Like who the heck could have guessed that would happen? And
It's
look,
alright.
look, and that's why I was gonna say this. Capcom is my favorite publisher. My favorite company is still Xbox because, I mean, they're I mean, just like Nintendo with you. That's just who you grew up with. Like,
Yeah.
like just saying otherwise just is not true. Like it's just it's so hard to like just say that again. Xbox is my favorite company, but in terms of games that they publish, Capcom is for sure my number one now.
Yeah.
Like there's just no game they haven't put out that I haven't loved. So
Yeah.
Whereas Xbox I can't
there
really
could
say
be
it's my
there could be a point where Sega takes that spot for me, but
yeah.
we'll see. We'll see, because Sega, man,
I know it really is
what
like you Nintendo, Sega, and then for me it's like Xbox, Capcom. It's like
yeah,
it's so great. But yeah, it just Capcom, bro. I love them so much. And Onimusha
No, I mean-
literally looks like my game, bro. It looks like
Yeah.
it literally looks like Ghost of Tsushima mixed with like Black Myth Wukong. Low-key. It has like the like obviously it's Japanese samurai like fighting style and stuff like that. But it has like that like visual flair that like you kind of get with like Black Myth Wukong. Super flashy, super like just so many like shiny, like detailed, extravagant things going on. And it looks
Yeah.
awesome. And then what I loved about this trailer, they could have easily just like ended it right as he like opened his eyes and stuff and said Onimusha, Way of the Sword. They showed some gameplay. They literally showed some gameplay and it looks awesome. It literally looks like, I don't even know what I would compare it to. I would say like, I mean kind of like
That's
Ghost
just how
of
unique it is.
Tsushima low key, but it looks more like close up. Everyone's kind of saying because like apparently the originals were like they played like Resident Evil games, just they were samurais.
yeah.
Which
They're kind of
I could-
top down too ish, like a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's what
Not-
they were saying. Like Resident Evil, because the original
Yeah.
Resident Evils were they were kind of like top
Yeah.
down a little bit, but you like can roam around and stuff. Whereas this does kind of feel like they're giving it its like Resident Evil remake treatment in a way. I can kind of see that. I'm just really curious to see how the game, because I know nothing about the franchise. It is totally speaking to me for multiple reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy because we still have RE9, which we know is coming. I'm telling you now, if that game comes out next year,
Well, here
I'm honestly quite curious at this rate if it does, because of this whole Monster Hunter thing.
Monster
So
Hunter,
we'll
oh my
see.
God.
like we'll see, because I remember, like I said, I did see that what was it, the financial meeting or whatever, and it's like them talking about Monster Hunter may just clear everything, like in terms
it
of their
will.
sales goals, so
yeah.
they may have to push it. I hope not, though. I would love if they still put it next year, because I think it's like almost it has to be close to being done at this rate. I mean, just
Yeah.
how many things are coming out? It's crazy. Like how many different leaks and news related things about it. But then you also have Pragmata.
Oh my gosh, dude,
Which, like,
Capcom, my
that
goats, bro.
Like that.
Oh my god.
Like that. Like Pragmata could be something special, and I think them delaying it a lot could end up being a good thing or a bad thing. But I think for them, I think they know what they're doing. I just hope it's executed well, whatever it is.
Bro, if they announce a Marvel vs. Capcom game, I'm gonna lose crap. I'm gonna
Bro, John, you need to understand. From now on with
Dino
Sega and
Crisis.
Capcom,
There's no way.
anything is possible.
Literally.
Anything
Literally.
you can think of is possible.
You know what? Hey, yo, shout out to all of you Twitter users who've been spamming Beautiful Joe. Like, I know I've never played one of those games, but like I've seen so much gameplay of those games. Like, oh my god, that'd be so hilarious if it came back. Like, hey, I see you out there. All right, I see y'all. Dude,
You never know, man. It's anything is possible. It's insane.
absolutely.
Capcom could. I low-key think they're just going for every franchise. They're like, hey, you know this one? It's big. Bring it back. Get it in here.
Well, and you know the thing is like, because obviously we could both agree like this has been Sega's like creme de la creme year. Like this was like a perfect Sega year. Whereas I feel like they also had a good year last year, I think. I don't really recall what they released last year. But like Sega hasn't ever really been bad per se, like recently. But like this was definitely the year where we're like, okay, Sega's actually kind of goated. Like Sega's actually cooking now. I think really it was ever since they announced all of those reboots. Sega's kind of just been on like an insane run. And so
they threw everybody for a loop, a big loop, because everyone thought it was just gonna be Virtual Fighter, but because it was just like get ready for the next generation.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And so Sega's really like elevated themselves this year specifically.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like with Capcom, it's kind of been like ever since like ever since Devil May Cry 5, they've like had there has not been a year where they haven't dropped bangers. Like they've kind of just stayed super consistent, and they've just been slowly bringing back all of these franchises. Next year, Monster Hunter Wilds. 2026, Onimusha. Somewhere between that, we're gonna get Resident Evil. We have Okami sequel in the works. Like they genuinely, I just don't see any year for the next decade where they don't drop a banger. Like I really don't.
Yeah.
And that's just so hard to say for almost every other company, like except like Nintendo or Sega, I guess. So it's just crazy. Like
Sega's last year was, I mean, Like a Dragon Gaiden, Ishin, Sonic Superstars, Persona 5 Tactica.
Yeah.
Definitely like smaller, like with more like spin-offs and stuff, but man, this year they just
this year is insane.
Man. New games, not spin-offs, just new games.
Yeah, for sure. But no, Onimusha, man, Way of the Sword. I definitely think this game is gonna end up being one of my most anticipated games for a long time. Until it eventually comes out. Like it's just like literally it's already started happening where sometimes there's just a game where as more time goes on, as the more I watch it, the more I talk about it, it just keeps like getting higher and higher on my list.
Yeah.
That literally happened the very next day. Cause like we made our Topsters list the night of, and I went to sleep, and when I woke up, I started watching all the trailers again. The first one I watched was Onimusha because it was just the first one I saw on my recommended list. I clicked it. Yeah. As soon as I watched it, I went right to my computer and I just raised it a few because I was like, bro, this game looks awesome. And so I'm so ready. I'm so ready for that crap.
Well, which one are you more anticipating, Virtual Fighter or Crazy Taxi?
Virtua Fighter for sure.
Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah.
I would say I'm more of a. Oh.
No, it's okay. Step aside, car. I understand. You got to understand. You're just a car. This is a fighting game.
Well, I definitely like. I would say I'm more of a Crazy Taxi fan, like in general. But I think the Virtua Fighter is going to be better than the Crazy Taxi game. So I'm more excited for that. Like I'm more excited for that specific game than Crazy Taxi.
All right. I think we need to stop glazing Capcom. We're just
Yeah.
going crazy. All right. So it's me. I could go to Sega and glaze them again. I could,
You could,
but I'm not.
but I'm going to.
I'm not though, because I'm not though, just because I don't want to. Like, we get it. We have our favorites, but I also want to talk about other stuff that I really enjoyed. This next one, I want to talk about it just because I liked the last installment that there was, and I'm hoping that this is the best one out of all of them. I want to talk about Dying Like the Beast.
Ooh.
I was really impressed with Dying Like the Beast for a couple of reasons. I feel like it really hasn't been that long since we got 2, and I find it quite crazy
3.
how it like looks better than the second one. And I feel I don't know when I want to say it was like 2020, but it's
2020.
hold on. I don't know, bro. It just I'm trying to because that feels realistic to me.
2022.
2 years?
Yeah.
No, and somehow it looks better than the second one.
Well, I mean,
somehow.
technically, it'll release 3 years after, but like, yeah, still.
Yeah.
It's only been 2 years currently.
But yeah, but somehow
no, it's almost been
looks...
3 years because it came out in like February of 2022, so it's almost been 3 years.
Yeah. But yeah, somehow it looks better.
I completely agree.
And
I completely agree.
Like, just the way they showed it with the environments and stuff, it just looks like Dying Light. I personally really enjoyed Dying Light 2. I love the gameplay of it. I just love zombie games in general. It doesn't have to be a perfect experience, but as long as there's something to love about it, mostly the gameplay is what I would hope to love, then it's already like good enough for me. And I love the parkour elements, and it just looked even cooler in this. Like, we got a little glimpse of it, not a lot, but to be able to like fully wall run, like for like at least a few seconds, like literally run on the side of the wall, is just it's so awesome. And that's what I love about Dying Light, and I'm super excited for it. And the fact that it comes out next year too.
I don't expect it to like win like any awards or like score super high, but like I fully expect to have just as much fun or even more than I had with Dying Light 2.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I agree with you. Dying Light 2 is one of my favorite games. It's one of my favorite zombie games, if not like my favorite zombie game, maybe. I think for me, the biggest reason I'm so excited for Dying Light the Beast is genuinely just what they've showed. Like, for me, I think my biggest issue with Dying Light 2 is the fact that specifically combat, feels very one-dimensional because the only kind of weapons in the game are melee, like a big bat or a big club or like a sword or something. Whereas in the trailer, we've seen flamethrowers, we've seen guns, we've seen crossbows, we've seen you've been able to drive trucks, we see you doing these insane moves, and it just seems like this is going to be a much more rich gameplay experience than Dying Light 2. And what I also love is just what they're aiming for with this. This is going to be a shorter, more focused and condensed story and game, and I think that's absolutely correct, because I think we can all agree the worst part of Dying Light 2 is its story. Even though I don't think it's bad, I just don't think it was anything like exceptional or great. It was fine. It was good.
Yeah. I think the problem is they hyped it up way too much with the whole idea of like decision making, and like it really wasn't that important. I mean, a lot of the same things kept happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think they're doing the right decision. They're bringing back the main character from the first game, which everyone pretty much enjoyed, and they're just going to be further exploring his story, and I like that. I think that is a really good call for Dying Like the Beast. And also, visually, bro, like, its atmosphere and environments, like, when he's in the, like, swamp forest or whatnot, like, lurking through the water, like, dude, that looks so insane. It looks so awesome. I'm very, very hyped. Honestly, I don't know when it's gonna release. I'm gonna guess this is like a second half game for sure. I just don't know. See, the problem is GTA 6, dude. As soon as GTA 6 gets a date, we can almost cross out that month entirely.
Yeah,
but
I was about to say, like, I don't think anything can come out that month. I think if
no,
you do, you're just, it has to come out before if it is that month.
yeah, and you better hope
Uh,
GTA's late in the month because
Yeah.
my guess is GTA is gonna be late October, early November. That's my like pretty solid, and that's really hard for a lot of companies because that's like
Yeah.
prime release your game territory. We saw it in prime example this year.
Especially October.
Especially October. So it'll just be super interesting. I just really hope there isn't big games around GTA because that could really hurt. Like,
Yeah.
okay, Dying Light hasn't always been the highest selling game. It hasn't been like the biggest mainstream game. If that was to release in the same month, it wouldn't be like a disaster. But like, what if
You're still losing sales.
like what if Fable dropped the same month as GTA 6? Like that is a disaster.
Oh boy.
Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that is asking for big problems.
Yeah,
So-
but I think Xbox is smart. We've seen them constantly move games, like against games that would be possibly bigger and
Right.
cause an issue. So I
Yeah.
mean, I trust
Honestly,
that they would do that.
I think the only game at this rate that can even like stand its own ground coming out in the same month as GTA 6 at this rate would be Elden Ring, because I think that's the only thing with the pop like the like reputation to go toe to toe with GTA,
Yeah.
and it's still gonna get clapped. So, you know, it's just interesting. But yeah, good pick. I'm very much looking forward to Dying Light: The Beast.
Same, brother.
Next game we're gonna talk about. See, I'm like
You could always
saving
segue
this
off
one.
what
I'm
you
like-
just said.
Oh yeah, Elden Ring. Yeah, sure. Why not? I was so confused. I was like, GTA? What?
No.
Yeah, Elden Ring, Night Rain.
Oh man, I'm a lot more excited for this than I thought.
Dude, me too. Actually, same.
This sounds like my dream Souls game.
Dude, it's a
You're actually
roguelite.
with your boys.
It's a roguelite,
like,
bro.
That's crazy. Cause we thought at the beginning, you know, they said co-op, and we thought it was kind of like just Elden Ring, but like co-op. No, it is not. It's a lot more interesting than I thought. I still wonder how that is going to work. The idea of it. But I'll let you go.
I have
'cause
a
you-
bunch
'cause
of
you-
yeah. details here. So this
Yeah.
is Elden Ring Night Rain, a standalone game. So it's not a DLC. It's not anything. It is a spin-off game, a part of the Elden Ring storyline universe, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
This is a roguelite co-op game. The story is set in Limveld, a parallel universe to Elden Ring. Random events will happen, including volcanoes, meteors, and etc. Spirit eagles are used for traversal. You start from the round table in this hub area, which
Yeah.
basically plays as the lobby in a way.
Mhm.
You can choose missions based on different bosses. So like if you pick, all right, I'm going to do this boss, you will then load into the map, and your objective is to go take out that boss with you and your co-op. But what you don't realize is that mission can last almost like a whole day if you like. So you start from the round table, choose missions based on bosses. There are 8 characters that you can choose from in this game. So 8 preset character options. Each character has their own story, and each character can use every weapon in the game, but they will have different buffs. You can play single player, or you can play 3-player co-op with online multiplayer. there is no option for two players, so that is a little bit unfortunate. But I mean, it makes sense.
Really?
Yeah. It is PVE, not PvP.
How
So
does
you
that
basically
what?
so you basically survive from day to day. So the game works in terms of days. So
Yeah, I remember seeing that. You have to survive like 3 days or
yes.
something.
So and at the end of the third day is the boss that you chose, and basically defeating the boss will give you better armor and better weapons to then go choose a harder boss, and you basically are working your way up. A lot of people are comparing this to Monster Hunter, and I think that is a really, really good point because Monster Hunter is literally that 3-person co-op where the whole point is you have to go hunt a monster that'll give you materials and loot that'll make you stronger and better to then go beat a bigger boss until you basically beat the game. In terms of this, though, they're adding the roguelike element to it. If you fail, which you will almost certainly will,
you have to restart.
You restart, but you then get to choose, or you are rewarded buffs and new abilities and new weapons to make your next run easier. So this isn't just a situation of you die, and then like, okay, I just have to master this boss. No, eventually you're gonna have so many abilities and stuff that's gonna make it a lot easier. So let me continue. Explore the maps throughout the day. Keyword maps as in plural. There are some missions that take place in completely separate maps.
Yeah.
Combat includes specials and ultimates. There are skill combinations that you can combine with other players. You can have different builds. So you can go with like an assassin build. You can go with a warrior build, a tank build, whatever. There is no armor, however. There are 3 color-coded relic slots for abilities and just statistic buffs. You can equip 3 weapons per arm. And so weapons offer different buffs and stats. There is a grappling hook in this game, similar to Sekiro. There is circle. This is where there are some people who are having a little bit issue or complaining, and I get it. This is where Jordan has an issue. I get it, but just whatever. There is a circle that shrinks compared to Fortnite. So like basically like as the days go by, the map will basically shrink.
It gets smaller.
I get it, but I think it works for the kind of game that they're going for. Like, you're not supposed to
I think all they need to do is just have an option to turn it off. If it's that big of an issue, you know?
Yeah, I guess. But
I mean, I get it. I get it because I feel like they're trying to force people to not run away.
Well, no. So let me explain. So the circle shrinks as you loot and grow, and as the days go by. The main boss will be during the third night in the center of the circle. So the whole point is the circle is supposed to eventually close you in to that final boss. Because otherwise, if they didn't do that, there would be no way to make the mission end on the third night, no matter what. Because people could just spend like however many days exploring all these nooks and crannies and trying to get all this stuff. When the point is, it's a roguelike. You want to do multiple runs. Blah, 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 blah. This is not a full price game, so that is something to keep in mind. This is a $50 game, which I think is a W. And there is no battle passes or post-launch microtransactions.
W.
This game actually sounds incredible. Like, I'm actually so down for this.
I will say the ring is a little weird.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused about that, but I mean, I guess we'll see how it is. That makes it feel more like a battle royale type of thing.
Well, yeah, that's what everyone's saying. Well, because also everyone's also making a joke because at the start of the missions you drop in with a glider.
Oh my gosh.
So I've already seen the
Yeah.
memes. Where we dropping, boys? Like, I've already seen it. But also,
Yeah.
some other interesting information. A lot of the bosses in this game are from old Dark Souls games. So a
Yeah.
bunch of bosses from previous Dark Souls games are returning to be bosses in this game, and I think that's so awesome. Like, it's so cool.
It is indeed very cool. I've seen a ton of people reacting. There's one specific boss that they talk about.
The No Name King or something like that.
Yeah, something like that from I think the first Dark Souls.
The Nameless King is what he's called. The Nameless
Yes,
King.
the Nameless King. Yes.
Yeah. Dude, I'm super hyped for this. I think this is gonna be a blast. I think it's gonna be absolutely fun. I love roguelikes. They've been a genre that's been growing on my like love list, and I really like Elden Ring. I'm not the biggest Souls person, but like I really enjoyed Elden Ring. I love a lot of From Software's products, and so add co-op in, add elements from my favorite Souls game, Sekiro in, add like roguelike in. Dude, I'm in, bro. Like I'm ready. Like, it sounds awesome. I do think it will be interesting because even though it is Elden Ring and it is From Software, this is a very, very different game. How we're saying it's a guaranteed game of the year contender, how it like 90 plus. I could see a world where it isn't. I could see somewhere similar to like the Armored Core reception, kind of. But at the same time, never doubt it because it is Elden Ring and it is From Software. So like, you already know there's gonna be glazers and everything. So who knows? But I'm super excited. I think it looks awesome, and I think there's mad potential for this. If anything, this might be the first Souls game you ever beat.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I wanted. I wanted actual co-op, actual co-op. I'm sorry, that's not real co-op. If I just see a person as a ghost, that's just not co-op to me. I'm sorry, bro. Like, that's just not co-op. So it's nice to see that they have actual real co-op going. And it sounds cool. That one detail is a little weird, but I think besides that, I think everything else could be phenomenal. It sounds really good. I just hope it's executed well, but under the hands of FromSoft, I mean, it's kind of hard to not have faith that they'll do a good job at least,
Right.
So.
Yep, I agree. Also, I just want to shout out the cover art goes so dummy hard.
Yeah, it
awesome.
is a
lot of the cover arts
nice,
from the Game Awards look really nice.
Yeah.
But
yeah, John will make sure to talk all about it.
I had to do it.
Yeah, I know. You gotta. You'll talk all about it.
Oh yeah. All right, what's the next game, buddy?
Man, there's a lot to choose from.
Just do it. Pull the trigger, cuh.
What do you mean? Pull
I don't
the
even
trigger,
know what
man?
I'm thinking of. I'm just telling you to.
I feel like I know what you should pick next.
What I should pick next?
But I'll see if you do it. I think I may just get it over with. There's not like a ton I have to say, but I mean, I feel like I just should just to get over with. Project Century. I mean, it's RZG once again working their magic. Also potentially thought, John thought about it, and when he saw that game, he was like, "Yo, Sleeping Dogs," and I think that's honestly a good comparison if that's what you really thought it was.
Dude,
like you were sold it was that.
I was so sure.
Yeah. Once again, it looks it's like similar in the realm of RGG, but it also like is completely like a different idea.
You know what it kind of reminds me of a little bit? Take the samurai aspect out of it. It kind of reminds me of like Rise of the Ronin a little bit.
A tiny bit, but it looks better graphically.
Yeah, no, it definitely looks better.
Yeah. But it's super interesting, and I do think that confirms. I think this is the replacement to Judgment.
Yes, for sure.
I think Judgment, unfortunately, is not gonna be a thing, and I think this is kind of like their new spin on like a different kind of IP within RGG universe as a whole. But it's kind of hard because there's not like a whole lot. Like they showed mostly what it's gonna be like. It feels more just kind of like a
Austin. Oh my god, Austin.
action sandbox kind of game, you know.
Sorry, I just realized the most incredible thing of all time.
And that is
Yakuza characters in Virtua Fighter.
Yeah, I know. No, but we already have those in Virtua Fighter 5, but they're just like skins.
Oh no, I'm talking real characters.
Yeah,
guest
I know,
characters.
I know.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. God, we'll see. I mean, if that game blows up, man. No, I can't give up Smash. It's Smash Brothers. I've put so much. Sometimes I wish I just didn't get into competitive Smash because my life is dedicated to it.
For real, no.
I do. Especially when you put in one of my goats, probably one of my favorite like male protagonists in gaming. So I mean, you kind of just have to.
Gender don't matter.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, it is like I feel like I didn't get a whole lot from it, but at least I understand where it's coming, like it's going, and it really does feel just probably gonna be like an action sandbox kind of game. Just like walk around, kind of do whatever you want. You have like your story that's gonna be there. You just fight people. You just
Sleeping Dog.
And I think that's super interesting. I'm curious to see how that plays out. And it could really turn out to be something special. Even if it isn't special, I mean, I expect it to be a good game. I really don't think RGG has really missed. I think there are games that people will say are just good or okay, but I don't think they'll really find one and say like, yo, this is bad. But I know when you have RGG behind it, it's just really hard to mess things up because I think they take criticism well. They know how to reuse assets without making it feel almost exactly the same. And they're just incredible. They really are. And I oh yeah, you got a list there. You can go over that at the end. How much you spend? Did you pay in full for all of them?
No.
Okay.
$67.42.
Okay. Oh man.
But keep in mind, I also picked.
Wait. Yeah. Oh.
I only pre-ordered 4 games. Just so you know.
Oh, okay. I was like, then how much?
There really isn't. There's not like a lot to pre-order like in general because I'm not getting Split Fiction physically as well as Monster Hunter. I'm not getting that physically because they're online like co-op things. So
yeah.
You're
not doing Monster Hunter?
Digitally, I am.
Oh, I was gonna get it physically, but
no,
I don't know.
I'm getting it on PlayStation. But
I may still do it. I don't know. I kind of wanted to get Split Fiction physically, but I mean, there's just no point because of the whole like one person has to buy it.
Yeah, I know. That's the only reason I didn't. Because I'm like, I don't even. Oh,
that's yeah. Plus, I mean,
you can always just buy a physical copy when it goes on sale later down the
line. Yeah. I'll probably end up doing that.
That's what I did with it. I mean, well, I didn't really have a choice for this, but
there was no choice.
Yeah, there was no choice. But I have it now.
Right. Yeah, I could end up doing that for like Monster Hunter 2. I guess,
but actually, let me run down what I got real quick. So, for the first time in a long time, I've pre-ordered a Like a Dragon game with Pirate Yakuza.
That's crazy.
Yep. I got that for PS5. I mean, literally anything I pre-order physically is just going to be for PS5 now because the PS5 Pro, there's just no reason in getting it on a worser piece of hardware. Like, it's just,
yeah.
Dynasty Warriors Origins.
Sometimes worse.
Not all the time. Sometimes. However, I will say if there is online though, I'll probably still get it on Xbox because Xbox just online so much better. Dynasty Warriors Origins, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza, and then this one I didn't even know was happening. Dude, I got so happy. apparently Neva's getting a physical release.
Mhm.
And I saw it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta do that. And then when I went to pre-order, Jordan was like, do you want the standard or deluxe? And I'm like, what do you mean
Oh, boy.
deluxe? And he's like, I don't know, it just says Neva Devolver Deluxe. And I'm like, oh, Neva Devolver. That's not even the same game. He's like, yeah, it is. I'm like, okay, like what is it? It comes with like a whole bunch of stuff that I'm like, yo, you know what? For like 15 extra bucks, lock me in, bro. Lock me in. Like I how could I not, bro? I think the game is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. Like of course I'm getting the little collector's thing that comes with it. Like yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, those were games I pre-ordered. I didn't even pre-order Assassin's Creed because I'm just gonna do the Ubisoft Plus thing. So there's no reason for that. But
yeah, I know this is off topic, but it came to my mind because we were talking about co-op. I didn't know if this was going to be co-op or not, but I guess it is. Dying Light: The Beast is co-op.
Oh yeah, duh.
Which I didn't think it was.
Every Dying Light has
like
been.
even the first one.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know. I thought the first one wasn't.
Yeah, no. Dying Light: The Beast will be co-op.
But it's only been like 2-player co-op, right?
The first one was 4-player.
Yeah, this one's 4-player.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So
Dying Light 2
that's
was
why I was
4-player
curious
as well, actually. Yeah, because we tried getting Christian to join, but he just never plays games when he's supposed to. So,
yeah,
he's always like 1 or 2 years late, but it's okay.
Yeah, good luck getting him to do it next year.
Trying to get him.
Yeah. He better do Elden Ring. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. Well, he'll do Elden Ring. That's for sure. Because I mean, it's Elden Ring, yeah. But
it's it's
okay.
Co-op games are looking kind of nice next year.
Co-op games are looking pretty nice.
Okay, and that's what I love to see. I love to see it. Also, real quick, I like on the Elden Ring. Why does 2-player not work? So you can only do 1 or 3?
Yeah, so if you're playing single player, okay, so you have to run three people, cause it's like a party, or whatnot.
Okay.
If you're playing single player, the other 2 are just like CPU, like computer.
Yeah.
I guess if you run 2, then like having 1 CPU is just like stupid. I guess I don't know. I don't have the answer. I'm just kind of guessing here.
But you'll still be able to play with just 2 people, but you'll have a computer as
no, you have to have one or 3.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. The game's not out. I haven't tested it. I don't know.
I have no idea. That just doesn't make sense to me. Like you can play up to 3 players, but you can only play with 1 or 3.
If anything, you might just get a rando. Maybe, because there is matchmaking. There is matchmaking on here. I did see that. So we might just get a rando, but yeah.
I don't know.
We don't need them. Anyway. All right. What game were we even talking about? Was Elden Ring the last one? Project Ascension. Right. Project.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the game looks cool. Looks promising. I love how grounded and like more realistic it feels compared to like Yakuza. So I think that'll be an interesting take to see like RPG. Like just the combat they showed felt very like, just, meaty.
Yeah.
So I really like that.
Beefy.
But yeah, we really didn't hear anything about it. Really, like we didn't get much information. So, but I'm excited. I mean, I have it on my list. I think it looks very interesting for sure.
Yeah. Oh shoot! So
Syrup
who
2,
commented, bro?
What you think about Naughty Dog?
Oh boy!
Crying, laughing emoji. I think it looks absolutely awesome. I'm very very excited. Naughty Dog never misses. I mean, if you like Last of Us Part 2 or not, that's definitely up for debate. I'm not really a fan, but that doesn't really ruin their reputation for me. I think the look of it is interesting. The little tease of gameplay I think could be really really fun. I'm glad Naughty Dog's getting able to make a sci-fi game. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, now that happened, you know what?
Yeah,
Let's just go and talk about it now. Intergalactic and the Heretic Prophet. We're gonna be talking about that. Naughty Dog revealed their next game. If you don't know who Naughty Dog is, they are the developers behind Uncharted, Crash Bandicoot, Jak and Daxter, and The Last of Us. Literally goated resume, like insane resume. And they're back with a new IP, a new franchise, if you will, called Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. We got like a beefy trailer. It was like 4 minutes long.
Yeah.
A lot of like plot setup, kind of in a way. Like, okay, you're a bounty hunter. You're going to this planet that people haven't been able to successfully get out alive of in over 600 years, and they've lost all communication with the planet. It looks like you're going to find your lost family or friends or whatnot. But it's basically this retro futuristic game where it has a lot of like 80s like music and like things to it, like cassette players and like radios, Sony music players and stuff like that. But it's obviously very like futuristic weapons and like technology and stuff. So I love that vibe. I love the visuals that we're seeing, the coloring, the character designs, the ship designs,
just the detail.
The detail is insane. The
Yeah.
music is gonna be I feel like the music's gonna be a slapper. It might low-key be Naughty Dog's best OST, and that is saying something. Like
We'll see.
it's just very interesting. But then the part that really gets me is that last 10 seconds where she pulls out that equalizer blade or whatever. I really hope it's called that. That is such a hard name. The equalizer blade. And she like runs at this like mech robot thing, and she like jumps off the rock and it's about to come crashing down. Everyone keeps saying, what if that is the actual gameplay? And knowing Last of Us Part 2, they might be on to something. They might be on. And if that is the case, oh my gosh, that looks awesome.
Yeah. Definitely, like, man, I'm even more interested because, like, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a hack and slash, or at least an action game.
Yeah, it's for sure an action game. Yeah.
Which is, it's nice. Why all the hate on it?
Because people are idiots.
Let's just keep it real. There are just sexist people out there, and there are people that care more about politics than they do about the actual quality of a game. Like, it's quite sad when people on the internet have to specifically, the first thing that they think of a trailer, like the guy in the chat. This is why you got, like, you're cool, because
I like your logo.
Probably
I like your logo, by the way. W.
Yeah, because people like us that are real gamers, when we see a trailer, the first thing we look for is how, what is the gameplay going to be like? What is the story going to be like? What is, the visuals, how is it going to shape up, and how good does it look? How is the music? How does it make you feel? That's what we think about. But what these people think about is the first thing they see and they think about is, why does this character look like that? We're like, that's not what a video game is to be judged on. There's so many aspects of a video game that people ignore, and they specifically focus on one single aspect, which is the character. Like, that's all they focus on. And I think that's incredibly stupid and dumb. Like, yes, the main character shaves her head. Oh my God, guys, can we not talk about anything else that was in that trailer? The only thing that you could talk about is that she shaved her head. And all of a sudden,
muscles. Oh my gosh, she works out.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, it's not a good game, even though we haven't seen barely any of its gameplay at all, or probably none. But that's all there is to talk about, because every woman has to be pretty. Every woman has to have, cleavage hanging out. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, video games are not to literally sit there and the first thing you think of is, why does this character not look the way I want? It's not about what you want. It's about the gameplay, the story, the music,
the developers
like, it's everything.
That's
yeah,
what it
and
is about.
I personally just don't care about all that stuff. Like, I care about, is the game good? Like, it's just the way it is, man. Like, and I hope you guys are like that too. And I mean, I hope people give something a chance just because there is one game people disagree on that was not up to standards of what they wanted. One game should not be the reason why people are saying this is going to flop. It's DEI, it's woke. And I'm like, anyone who says that, I'm just going to block them and I'm not going to listen to you because you're an idiot, because you don't care about video games. You don't want people to be happy. You don't want people to succeed. You don't like women. You're sexist. You're just not a good person and you're probably going to buy it anyways. So I don't know what else to say. Like, I don't care that she's bald. I care about the gameplay. Like, who cares? Like, it's so stupid.
Ray
It's so
McDougal?
dumb.
Absolutely. Onimusha, Way of the Sword, bro. So hype. I'm so excited. Syrup 2. What an interesting name. I just respect anyone's opinion, and I'm not against anything. I mean, yeah, I mean, everyone's gonna have their own opinions. The thing I say is that you are not required to buy the game. You are not required to play the game. If you are not interested or do not want to, respect. That is your opinion, but don't be going hating on things that you have no interest in. Like that just
I'll
makes
respect
no sense.
anyone's I'll respect anyone's opinion that is neutral, or, you know, is just like, if you don't like it and you have an issue with it, that's fine. But if you're going to go to the internet and go into people's comments and tell people like, you shouldn't like this, it's DI, it's woke, it's like, okay, I don't respect your opinion anymore. You're just an asshole. Like, you're literally just trying to ruin the fun for, oh, sorry, I didn't even think about it. You know what? Who cares? I don't even care. I say it how it is. You just are. You're just not a good person. You're just trying to ruin the fun for everybody. It is what it is, John. They need to know what it is. Sorry.
It's all right.
You just are.
Okay.
So.
Intergalactic is my favorite announcement of the whole show, and it is currently in my top 5 for most anticipated games. Because my favorite video game franchise of all time is Uncharted. I think Last of Us Part 1 is a masterpiece. I think Crash Bandicoot is one of my favorite platformers. I think Crash 4 is a masterpiece. Jak and Daxter, I think, is super underrated and like one of my most requested franchises to come back for PlayStation. Literally, all the reasons for this game to be awesome and exciting is there for me. And I think the trailer was super awesome. So, I mean, by just all those qualifications, I'm super duper excited for this game. So South of Midnight looks great too, right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
South of Midnight looks awesome.
I think South of Midnight looks great. Great art style decision. Like, gameplay looks a lot better than when it was first shown.
The inspiration.
I think South of Midnight looks great.
Yep.
I have no issues with it.
Absolutely.
So.
All right, but anyway, how do you feel about just Intergalactic, like outside of controversy?
It's hard because like I am very interested, but there's really not a lot to work off of, I feel. Like they had a decent like long trailer, but I wouldn't say exactly they gave us like a ton to really kind of work with, but I think it's interesting where they're going. I like the idea of them going to a sci-fi game, and seeing at the end that it's going to be either like a hack and slash or an action-based game is super cool to see. I'm really excited for that kind of idea.
Did you watch my Intergalactic video today, by chance?
I think so. I just may not remember a whole lot at the moment, because then I started watching your like review and everything, just talking about this, like barely kind of going over like the big announcements, stuff that you really enjoyed the most. No, I think it's cool. I just think, of course, there's still a lot more they could show. But it is what it is, man. I'm focused on the things that matter, especially not the people that are focusing on product placement. But I'm gonna keep it real, fellas. Video game development costs a lot of money. If you're mad about 2 seconds of product placement, bro, they gotta pay the bills somehow. Games they're not cheap, bro.
Also, bro,
they're not cheap.
Flying around in a Porsche spaceship, that sounds sick. That sounds awesome, dude. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
You gotta pay off that development cost
Intergalactic.
somehow.
This was the show to close, or this was the show. This was the game to close the show. It was the actual final announcement. thank goodness, because that actually felt like a final announcement thing. No, like diss towards Okami. It's just like this is what this is on the level of what people were expecting to close the show.
Yeah.
And I think for the most part it delivered outside of the grifters, if you will, if that's even what you want to call them. But there's a lot of names you can throw out there. But yeah, absolutely awesome. Super duper excited for Intergalactic, the Heretic Poet. All right, we've been going for quite a while, so we're gonna try and speed this up a little bit. We've pretty much gotten through like most of the big ones. There is one though I definitely want to take some time talking about because I really like did not expect me to be this excited. This is again one of those games where the more times I watch trailers, the more I realize how actually excited I am and how good it looks.
Yeah.
The complete curveball that Xbox threw out there, Outer Worlds 2. This
wow, you haven't gone to okay. I thought you would have picked something else. You still haven't talked about it.
I know.
Your biggest surprise that you literally were like,
Virtua Fighter was my biggest surprise. Because, all right.
Over.
Absolutely. Go watch the.
I guess at that night, you know which one was your biggest surprise. The one you reacted to. No, you will not tell me otherwise. The other one was a bigger surprise at that night, but after it, I agree with you on Virtual Fighter.
Outer Worlds 2.
You said multiple times throughout the night that one game that was shown. You kept saying, "I can't believe they showed that." That was so weird. Why? That was so random.
You're right. Dispatch. I didn't see it coming, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man. No, but Outer Worlds 2, man. This game is genuinely everything I expected out of an Obsidian game, out of a sci-fi game, out of an Xbox game, out of an RPG, out of a funny trailer. Like, this really, like, just this trailer alone really sold me on the game. I'm not going to say it's going to be, like, one of the best RPGs or anything. I'm not going to say, like, it's going to be a 9 out of 10 to 10 out of 10. But I just think it's going to be so much fun. Genuinely. Like, this look... To me, I think Avowed has a better chance at, like, being a quote-unquote, like, game of the year type game than Outer Worlds, because Outer Worlds 2 is a much more, like, let's just have fun with the idea that it's an RPG, you know, rather than, like, let's try to make this insane world with complex, like, stuff. Outer Worlds does have an insane world and a lot of story to it as well, but Outer Worlds is much more of the, let's just have some wacky, awesome fun, put it in an RPG, and I really enjoyed the first one, but it was really small and it was shorter compared to a lot of other RPGs. This really looks great. This really, really does look great.
Yeah. I'm more excited for this than Avowed, personally.
I am too. I am too now, and I did not expect it to be. Like I genuinely am super duper excited for this. Like it's right below Elden Ring for me on my overall list, and it's actually above the one that you want me to say. So it's crazy, but no, I genuinely loved it. Also, the trailer was hilarious. Like it was hilarious because they instead of saying from the makers of the games we know, they would always say the sequels that they've made. So from the makers of Knights of the Old Republic 2, from the makers of something Neverwinter or something 2. And then the funniest one is everybody always says that Fallout New Vegas is just like a part 2 to Fallout 3, but it's like its own separate thing. They even made a joke in it was like, and from the makers of Fallout 3 New Vegas. Like they even like did a little like whisper in your ear like New Vegas. So it was just so funny. I really loved it. I think all the different weapons look super cool. I think some of the characters look super cool. I think the visually it looks really, really good too. This is more of your BioShock RPG rather than like, I guess you would compare it to like Skyrim in a way, like the other one. This is the one that you will genuinely like, Austin. Like I'm very confident you will like the Outer Worlds. because it is not a serious RPG. This is a
Yeah.
RPG like I'd almost compare it to. It's nowhere near as stupid as this game, but I would compare it to like High on Life, in a way where it's just like,
it's not gonna be that.
No, it's not gonna be that stupid, but like they are cracking jokes like quite a bit, and the first one, a lot of them landed, and so I'm really really excited for that, and also just the fact, where did this game come from? Like, genuinely, at Xbox, what was the plan here? I mean, I'm glad you didn't. Don't get me wrong. You have Doom coming out next year. You have Fable coming out next year. You have South of Midnight coming out next year. Avowed coming out next year. You have the next year's Call of Duty. You have like Towerborn. You have so many things in your pipeline. You have Gears of War, Perfect Dark that we've already seen multiple times. Contraband, Blade. Nah, we're gonna go with this game that we showed 3.5 years ago that you completely probably forgot about. And they were just like, you know what? Here it is, randomly at the Game Awards. It was our only game that we're going to show at the Game Awards. Much respect to it. And the even crazier thing is, nobody had this on the bingo card. It's coming out next year. Like, what the heck? Now, here's what I will say. I find it really interesting that Obsidian is dropping 2 RPGs in 2025, Avowed and Outer Worlds 2. I don't know if that's a bad idea, because you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot, kind of, because like if Avowed is like really really great and then Outer Worlds is kind of just like okay, or the other way around, you could really hurt the other one in a way. Granted, I have confidence in Obsidian. They really haven't missed ever. And so I think both will be pretty great. But also at the same time, they're 2 very different RPGs, so I don't think it'll be like, oh, I already played Avowed. I don't really feel like playing Outer Worlds. No, like playing Outer Worlds and playing Avowed is going to be 2 very different experiences. So I'm pretty excited about that. How do you feel about Outer Worlds 2?
I'm interested. It is probably one of the times I've been more interested in a Obsidian game than usual. Not to say like Obsidian has never had interesting concepts, but I feel like out of all of them that they've done so far, this is probably the one that I am the most interested in, that I want to play. Because I mean, Avowed looks cool. I don't know. It's just not fully doing it for me, I guess. Freaking what's the name? Pentiment was like kind of whatever.
That
like
so
it just
that one's so niche.
But I heard it's great, but it's just very niche.
Grounded.
Yes, I keep wanting to say something completely different, like something outside, and I'm like, that's not what it is. Grounded was cool. I just
something outside.
Yeah.
Love it.
I'm too much of a baby to play Grounded. Oh heck no. Digitally, I'm screwed,
you have
bro.
Been if I'm playing New Vegas at one point, like it's on your backlog. I think.
Well, yeah.
So.
It is on there. It's just Fallout anything really. But it's probably the most interested I've been in an Obsidian game, and I think it looks cool. I think I know why it's Game Pass.
I think I know why, because I literally just made the comparison, and I know it's true because you're also interested in 2 other things. I would compare Outer Worlds to Obsidian's BioShock.
Yeah.
That's also why you're excited for Clockwork Revolution. It's also why you're excited for Judas, and why you want another BioShock announcement. I just think you are
I think what we're saying here is I like wacky RPGs.
Yeah. No, I really do think so. That's also why you'll
like
probably like Fallout. That's probably why you'll like Fallout too. So, I think that's it. And I think
we cracked the code.
Yeah,
honestly, we cracked the code.
I think you did. That's also why you like Dying Light, because that's kind of similar in a way, but yeah.
Yeah, because I think people just need to understand. It's like Skyrim. That's wacky though. I can't say nothing. There's a lot of wacky stuff in that game.
Skyrim does have some pretty weird stuff.
Yeah. I don't know.
But it's not like it's wacky in the sense of like, what am I looking at, rather than like, let's crack jokes left and right, like type stuff.
It's not even just. It's just I don't know. Like it's so weird. Like Because like even another game on here that like was the very first game they showed of the show, it's like I'm interested in that, but definitely not as much as a lot of other RPGs, just because it just I don't know like it looks cool. I like the setup they have, but it's like
What?
I don't know.
I'm stupid.
The
I'm
more
like
the more
trying
I
to
think
figure
about
out
it,
what game you're trying. I'm like, oh, okay. Never mind.
yeah, the very first game
Yeah,
they
yeah,
showed
yeah,
of the
yeah,
Game Awards.
yeah, yeah. Well, you might as well
But
say
like
that one now.
it's just super wacky. So yeah, we'll transition off that into a gigantic RPG. The Witcher 4. There's not really a lot to say, just because, for me at least, I've never played The Witcher at all. I could end up playing The Witcher 3. I'm not going to say anything.
I plan on trying again for my my fifth time.
It depends.
I'm hoping
I'll see.
like it.
Yeah, I'll end up seeing how I feel at some point. But I think the cinematics, they really did a great job at hyping up the next installment. I love how they're building up the transition from Geralt to
Geralt.
What do I-
Geralt, not Geralt.
did I say Geralt?
You said Geralt.
How do you say it? Geralt?
Geralt, yeah.
Okay, Geralt
Like Gary.
to
With
yes,
alt.
yes.
Geralt.
Geralt.
Yeah.
Oh, Geralt. Okay, got it.
Let me
Geralt.
wait. Let me fact it.
What a stupid name!
Because now I'm second guessing myself. Hold on.
Oh boy. Like
Got the courage to repeat that slander to my face? Readily. You are a mutant, a freak, a useless.
What? What? That's not what I.
What are you watching?
I don't even.
Got the courage.
Bro. Can I just not watch that? What the heck? Alright. Continue talking while I try and figure this out.
But yeah, I like, how they're doing like the way they're going about
Geralt.
switching the main protagonist. I think it's super what? I heard that.
I just heard Siri say it out loud. It was funny.
Geralt.
Geralt?
It is,
I think that's what,
yeah.
that what I said.
Yeah, so I was right. Geralt.
Okay, Geralt. I love how they're switching Geralt.
Geralt.
And how they're transitioning from him to Cersei. I think it's super neat. I'm curious how they go about that. I mean, the cinematics look great, and they're really hyping up the story aspect and where it's going. I have no idea what The Witcher 3 is about. Literally no idea whatsoever.
Not Gerald.
But I think their first trailer was good.
Yeah, Geralt.
Unfortunately, there's just not a lot to really, I'd say, go off of in some ways. I mean, there was no gameplay or anything, but you can probably expect what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
But I'm interested, but we'll see. We'll definitely see how that goes as time goes on, and we hopefully get more information on it. Because that could still be a further ways away, but I do know CD Projekt Red put more employees on it, so
I will say, I'm not like trying to like sell you on the game or anything, but like if I had to compare it to something,
here we go.
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind genuinely is like FF16, like it really does.
Really?
Yeah, like look up gameplay, like look up like advanced Witcher 3 gameplay. And I'm telling you, like the camera and just the way it play, because it is hack and slash, and I wouldn't say hack and slash, but it's like very action, like it's a very action heavy combat. Yeah, let me see.
Okay, hold on.
The camera's a little higher up, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
The camera's a little higher up, but it's.
I don't agree with that statement.
Yeah,
This looks like
maybe not actually.
no, I don't see that. Like, oh, it's just like it. I don't know what you would base this off. Like, it's
Maybe
not
like
super
Dragon Age.
fast.
Oh, Loki, it kind of is like Dragon Age. Loki.
Like, it's not super fast, but it definitely is like hack. I'm trying to think what you would compare. Like, this looks cool.
Honestly,
Like, it's
it
not
looks
blowing
like
me away or
Dragon
anything.
Age, actually.
Oh my god, Jesus!
It's not blowing me. Oh my god.
No, no, I just like no, because I'm watching this. I'm like as I say that, I'm like like this doesn't feel like anything super crazy. Like, because of course my hack and slash I like really fast, and then right as I say that, like he like just slices someone, and oh my god.
Yeah.
just
By the way,
the blood.
this game is
like,
a decade old. By the way.
like, dude, bro's head did he just decapitate him with
Probably.
Jesus!
Yeah.
That blood splatter, God.
That game
Like
is
exploded.
that game is a decade old, by the way, which is pretty insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty
That's
excited
crazy.
for this. Now this one's an interesting one because I mean,
Oh my
I
God.
just
Oh, bro, it's so like when you just so much. Oh my God. Oh God, that's the blood splatter is crazy. Jesus. Like you cut him on the head, just flies out.
I kind of just like said it, but like I've tried getting into the Witcher multiple times. I've tried playing The Witcher 3. It's never hooked me. Like I've just never really like enjoyed it enough to like want to beat it or anything or play more anything after like 5 hours. And so I wouldn't say I'm really a Witcher fan, but like Austin said, like this trailer really just was a really, really cool trailer. Even though it is just CG, we know what The Witcher is, so it's not like, oh, we don't know what kind of game we're looking at. We know what kind of game we're looking at.
And we know it's gonna be way better graphics.
oh yeah, it's gonna look amazing, and I'm sure it's gonna be great. But no, I think for me, even with somebody who's just not really been a fan of The Witcher or couldn't get into Witcher 3, I'm super excited for this because this opens up a chance to either get into it or maybe I'll just love this one and not 3. Like who knows? Like that's happened before where I just haven't liked the previous one, but I love the new one. So I genuinely am excited. Like I have this one pretty high on my list. It's like right outside the top 10. It's like number 13 or something. Like it's pretty high up there, which I did not expect it, but I just know the quality we're gonna get out of CD Projekt Red. I know how popular and how fun the game can be, so I'm just really excited to see more of it. And I know that this game is a way away. I think it's 2027 the earliest, personally. I don't think we're gonna get it for a while, but I'm looking forward to see more for sure. And I love that Siri is the main character. No, not Apple iPhone Siri. Siri from the Witcher.
Ain't it Cersei? Or
No, it's Siri.
Really? That's not okay.
Ciri. Siri.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, I think she looks
I see
awesome.
what
I think going with her is a really smart route because I'm not even gonna spoil the end of 3, but anyway, yeah. Very interested. And they also confirmed Geralt will be in this game. They haven't disclosed what role he's gonna play yet. So
I mean, he could just be like an important character, but you may not play as him. But
right.
I think for the fans at this point, I think it'd be nice if you could play as him. Not like for the longest amount of time, but it'd be cool if he made like a surprise
Venom,
appearance.
Maybe. Pull like a Venom. Just have like this moment where he just goes absolutely crazy and destroys everybody.
Yeah.
Like that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, one more time, you know.
Yeah, right.
One last time for the fans. Yeah, man.
I mean, I'm almost confident when this game will be a game of the year contender whenever it comes out. Like, I mean, it's just it's just The Witcher. Like, it's considered one of the best games of all time. So,
yeah, it's CD Projekt Red.
As long as it's not buggy mess,
yeah,
it should be fine.
I have more faith in this not being a buggy mess than
I did too.
Cyberpunk. All right. I'm gonna go on to the game that I thought you would have said a million years ago.
Technically, you
Turok.
picked Witcher 4. Technically.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. Technically, it's my
Oh.
turn.
Oh, okay. I forgot. I thought you picked it. I thought.
No. So I'm going to go.
Okay. Not Turok.
Mafia the Old Country.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, fake fan. Yep. Who would have guessed?
I was saving it for last. Sorry. No, I'm just joking. I don't really care when it happens.
Because your least favorite.
Yep. No, Mafia the Old Country. I've only played one Mafia, and that is Mafia 1, the remake. And it might be one of the best stories I've like in any video game. Like the Mafia games just have so many great stories. They are so good. So I'm really excited for this game because I loved Mafia 1 so much, even though I haven't played 2 and 3. I just loved Mafia because of that first game. And I think the setting and what they're going for this one is really good. And with news that I received that this is no longer going to be open world. This is going to be the first, oh gosh, what is it? Why am I blanking on
linear?
Linear. Thank you, John. I kept wanting to say narrative. I'm like, no, that's not the right word. This will be a linear narrative story-driven game. I think that is a really big W because the worst part of the Mafia games is the open world. I think that is really, really cool. And I really like the trailer that they showed. It really was super cinematic, super just dark and like grounded and super realistic. And I love the acting in it. And I do just think this is going to be another great Mafia game for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, man. There's not a lot to say for me. Like, once again, I am interested. I didn't really understand what was going on because I feel like in that moment, I feel like we were talking about stuff.
Yeah.
So I didn't really like pay attention to like what the story was gonna be like. Also, I'm a little bit of a hater, you know. Not to do with anything of it, but it's like, I mean, you know, one of my favorite, my favorite franchise of all time is the Japanese Mafia, and like they clear any other Mafia. So why would I play any other Mafia game? But no, I'm just being stupid, but I'm interested. I'm curious. I need to go back to the trailer and kind of understand what's going on. But
Yeah, I've watched all these trailers like 10,000 times. Holy
yeah.
crap.
See, I haven't since then because I just want to play games, but problem is I'm having an issue of what I want to play.
I know you're playing Marvel Rivals yesterday.
Yeah, but only because they were like, please, like none of us, like some of us haven't played it yet, and I was like, okay, fine, like just because, and we have like 4 people, why not? So I just ended up doing that, but it's so hard to pick what I want to play. Like it's kind of difficult to choose at this rate, but I need to go back and look. But I am interested. I am interested to see like more of what it's gonna be about. So, have we really gotten gameplay particularly yet?
Nope.
No. Okay.
But it's
Yeah, that's what we're
it's
waiting
just
on
like
next.
it's an over the shoulder like shooter.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That sounds about right.
It's like an Uncharted, but you wouldn't know. So.
Yeah.
All right, your go.
We're gonna go for Borderlands 4. Go for Borderlands 4. Once again, I've never played a Borderlands, but I know what it looks like. I don't really know if I remember what gameplay looks like. I just know it's wacky. It is crazy. But I do think that also looks cool. It's definitely like lower on my like we're getting to the ones that are more lower on my list, but like I'm still interested in them. Like I still think they look cool, and I may still end up wanting to try these out just to see how I feel, because there might be games I'm not too interested in and then I play and then I could end up loving. So but I like it. I think they did a good job of, showing what's next. Let's just hope, they execute it well. But I think so far they had a good first showing of it. I think it looks good. It definitely is still like the same in some regards, but it just looks more polished, which, I feel like a lot of people would have expected things to change a lot. But I think it is good to keep that iconic art style for them, but just polish it up. Because looking back at 3, it really is like the same, but just it's like every little like weird visual thing is just like polished to a whole new like extreme.
Yeah.
Which I think is good. So yeah, I don't really have much to say, but I think it looks good.
Yeah. I'm a pretty big Borderlands fan. I love 2. I really enjoyed 1. I enjoyed 3 for what it was as well, but it definitely was nowhere near 2. I'm pretty excited for this just because, like I said, I am a fan of it. And yeah, I agree with Austin. I think it looks much better than 3. It just looks a lot more clean. It looks a lot more clear. It just looks it looks more polished, like you said.
Yeah.
And we already know Borderlands is fun. That's not a question mark. I mean, Borderlands is fun. How will the dialogue and writing play out? I think that's the biggest concern, because Borderlands is one of those games where it goes for jokes every 5 seconds, and if they don't land, it can be really, really cringe. So
yeah,
that's a little bit of a worry, but for the most part, I think it's really cool, and I'm pretty excited. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The difference between Austin and I is, this is not a diss by the way. This
no,
is just a
everything you say is a diss to me, though.
No.
So that's all right.
This is just a fact.
That's how I always see it. You know.
Well, Austin needs like. I just see your face. You're just waiting for me to like diss yourself. Austin needs more trailers to explain him like what the game is, to be like sold on it, right? Whereas like you could tell me, oh hey, a Remedy is making a multiplayer game based on the Control universe. Boom, sold. I'm ready. Whereas Austin be like, I have to.
I want to know exactly what I'm working with.
Yeah. But I think I think the difference there is I have the mindset where it's like, I'm okay buying something even though I may not like it, because it's like an experimental process. It's like you don't know unless you try it. It's kind of just like going to watch a movie. If it ends up not being good, oh well. But like, I mean, at least I watched it. You know what I mean? So, at least I can be a part of the conversation type thing. So for me, it's like, okay, any game there is, honestly, yeah, I'm on board. Obviously, I also want to see things like for not to really sell me on it, but to like make me confident in it.
Yeah.
But whereas like Austin, like he will not play something unless like there have been enough good trailers to like convince him that he may end up enjoying it in a way.
Yeah.
And I know he's been trying to like just play something for the heck of it, but it's still really, really hard.
Dude, I'm telling you that it depends. I'm really hoping I have a Returnal moment with yes, because you were like, oh, I just think this is kind of, you know, like whatever, you know. And then like you end up getting it and you're like, oh my gosh, like I ought to just sometimes pull, you know, like just try for, you know, the heck of it. I hope I'm gonna get that feeling with Expedition 33. I'm so ready to pull the trigger and just not do like what?
How is that a comparison to Returnal?
Because you were okay, well, because
you're not sleeping on the game. You're
right.
Favorite
I should have thought about it. I should have thought about it a little bit more. Shut up.
If anything, I would say that's like Immortals Phoenix Rising or like Dragon Age. I guess I think that's like a better comparison.
Probably. I don't know why. I just thought about it because I was like, I just remember you had that experience. But no, I don't know, like. Because I'm at a point where I'm about to just skip it on Game Pass and just buy it physically. I mean, it's only like 40, 50 bucks. I think it's 50. So I may just end up pulling the trigger, but we'll see. But I don't know. Like I do agree with you though. I like to know everything. I want to know everything I'm working with because I don't want to get something.
I mean, that's how majority of people are. I'm just a different.
Well,
I have a list filled with like, almost 70 games that I'm like already locked in on, and most of them we only have a logo. So, it's just I don't know. That's just how I play, but.
Well, I don't want to get a game and then it's just something I didn't expect, and it's something I really just was not wanting. So
yeah.
Like if Elden Ring, like imagine like, oh yeah, it's co-op, but they didn't explain like, oh, it's like you can't fight together or anything. It's like, okay, then I'm not getting it. Like, you know, like that's a huge
I also
detail
think
for me.
that's another thing where we differ is for some games specifically, like you are interested in it for like a very specific reason.
Yeah.
Like whereas you don't really care about like the world of Elden Ring or like the fact that it's a Souls game.
Well, yeah, some games I literally just get to experience one thing.
Right.
And
yeah.
I don't really think that's bad.
No, it's not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know,
like Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade, I got it because I was genuinely interested in it, but I mostly was doing it because I kept saying it reminded me of like Nier, and it's, you know, like combat looked really cool.
Yeah.
I never like sat there and was like, oh yeah, I'm getting this for its story or anything. But I think that's completely fine. Like I don't see any wrong reason in it. I don't think it's wrong for the developers either. I don't think they think it's
where
wrong.
we they definitely don't think it's wrong. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, because I'm giving them their money.
but then again, like that's where we different. Where it's like very rarely am I getting a game just for like a very, very sole purpose. Like I just like I don't know. I just kind of for the whole just experience. I'm just curious how it's gonna be. Like
yeah.
Like for instance, like I don't know, like Onimusha. Like I'm super excited for it because it's Capcom, it looks cool and everything. I may end up like not liking the main character or the combat, but like I may really like the world still, and I'll feel like perfectly satisfied, like I got what I wanted out of it, kind of in a way, sort of. Like as long as I enjoy some sort of aspect about the game, that's what I'm there for. So I don't know. It's interesting, but all right. What's the next game? Is it my turn? It is my turn. All right. I'll just do it finally. Turok Origins. Here it is.
Yep. Man, took forever. God.
Turok, baby. Turok.
All right, my first question.
And Turok 2 on the N64. Seeds of Evil.
That's crazy.
It's very crazy. What is your question?
So my first question, because Jay Wood mentioned it. How do you feel about it going from first person to third person?
I think it works for the game they're going for.
Okay.
So I've already recorded my video talking about Turok Origins, but I'll give you like a little quick rundown. So it is a co-op game, and they're basically turning it from like a single player story game to a co-op game with story, but it is a dinosaur hunter game where you and your squad are going to hunt dinosaurs. Instead of you trying to just survive through the jungle, you are actually hunting, which I think is pretty cool because, I mean, let's be honest, dinosaurs are just cool in general. But, but I think it works because number one, it's multiplayer. First-person games and multiplayers can sometimes be weird, like specifically co-op, like PvE games. First person can sometimes be a little quite questionable, but third person in this setting, like a jungle, but with like some futuristic militariness, with dinosaurs, can be very, very interesting. Also, with the gameplay they showed, I don't think it looks like really awesome, but I don't think it looks bad. Like I think it looks pretty cool. It looks about like what I expected. It's futuristic. Which I think also really helps the third person choice, because you get to see your like suit and you can like camouflage your whole body to like be like a reptile or something, which is really, really cool. As well as you then get to see like these really cool dinosaur kills kind of like finishers, which I think could be really, really cool. The biggest reason, and honestly, because here's what I'll say. Do I think Turok Origins is going to be a great game? I'm a little bit questionable about that. And which is why I'm not as excited for it as I feel like I should be. Because it is that co-op multiplayer mission-based game rather than like a single-player Turok dinosaur game. But here's what I will say. There is one insane redeeming factor. If this was announced any other year, I would be just as questionable as I am. But because of this one piece of information, I actually have confidence in it.
Mm-hmm.
The developer of this game is Saber Interactive.
Really?
Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2.
Wow.
That
I can see it.
I can very much
see
see it. I can very much see it. There was literally there's dinosaur creatures in Warhammer. There it is a third person over the top action game. I can really see it. When I look at the gameplay, I'm like, I can see where there's kind of hints of Warhammer in it. Obviously, it's not gonna have I would say as insane of graphics or anything, but they crushed it this year with specifically a co-op multiplayer PvE game, and that is exactly what this is: a co-op multiplayer PvE game, a part of a historic franchise that people love. As long as they just don't try to do too much or too little, I don't really see how this can go super wrong. I definitely can see the argument. I wish it was first person. I wish it was like the older games. Okay, I can get that for sure. But I do, at the end of the day, think this is still going to be a really fun game. Because when I look at the gameplay, like I said, it doesn't look incredible, but it looks fun. It looks all right. I like the whole bow and arrow shooting. There's one part where he grabs a dino with his really long arms or something like that. Yeah. I don't know. And then he slams him to the ground. I just saw that, yeah. Yeah, and I'm like, yo, that looks pretty sweet.
Yeah. It definitely just depends on the execution.
Yeah, it really does. But I think there is potential there. Also, because it definitely stands out. It's a very unique product. There's not a dinosaur game like that, period. Yeah. There's just barely any dinosaur games in general because Ark 2 is just non-existent. But no, bottom line though, I'm just really happy the franchise is alive in some respect, man, because I just never thought it was gonna happen. It was just it's so funny because when the trailer started, I'm like, I saw dinosaur and I'm like, yo, Jurassic Park, and I'm like, no, that would be stupid. Because I saw Universal, which is that's a big question mark for me. I don't know why Universal is attached to this thing. And then I was like, no, it's not Jurassic Park. All right, is it Ark 2? And I was like, no, this does not look like Ark 2 whatsoever. And then I was like, oh god, what was the other one I was thinking? Oh yeah, but then I was like, dude, imagine if it was Turok. And I'm like, I don't think it's any of this stuff. What the heck is this? And then it showed Turok, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. What? Yeah. You gotta be joking. And it's here. I have a huge history with Turok. It's a childhood game of mine. The one on the PS3 specific is so fun. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Just for the fact that it's Turok, not specifically what I saw in the trailer gets me excited. Just the fact that it's Turok gets me excited. Again, I still think that the trailer was fine and it looked good. I just don't think it was what I was expecting from a Turok game. Mm-hmm. So it's not blowing my socks off. Top 10 most anticipated game. But it's definitely up there. It's in the area with Outer Worlds 2 and Mafia. It's around there.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Okay, so we're kind of getting to more of the smaller stuff, which I probably have less to say on, but I think one of the last big ones that I'm pretty interested in, there's other ones like the Sonic thing, but it's not that big. I'd say Stage Fright is probably one of the last ones that is pretty big to me because it's coming from the team of Overcooked, and it's still co-op, and it's looking to be like one screen plays one side of a level, the other person plays the other side of it. I think there's a lot of there's a lot of cool ideas they can pull from that. And I mean, there wasn't like a whole lot, but I think it's a cute looking game, and I like the idea they're going for, and hopefully it, is executed well. I mean, they Overcooked and Overcooked 2 are fantastic. I mean, especially Overcooked 2. I mean, I have played it on several occasions.
Genuinely, some of the
with
best
multiple
co-op
different
games
people.
of the generation, like easily, like
Yeah.
very good.
like bust out Overcooked 2, like dang man, you'll get a party going, and almost anyone that plays it enjoys it. It's not maybe one of the greatest experiences ever, but you can't really say it's not a fun experience. So I'm hoping they can deliver on this one too, especially just since I love co-op, and I'm glad to see co-op is becoming, in my opinion, really big again. Like it's really starting to be focused on a lot. So
for sure. Yeah, no. So for me, I have two sleeper picks at the show, which are basically games that I think aren't getting enough credit or shine, recognition. And also ones that I originally was like, it looks cool, but like I'm not like super duper excited for it. Whereas like now, after rewatching the trailer like 10 times, like I said, I've done for like all of them, some of them even way more. Onimusha, I'm talking to you. Anyway, like there are two games I think are sleeper picks. One of them is Stage Fright, and then the other one is gonna be my next pick is Dispatch. But Stage Fright, I think this has a lot of potential for the pure fact that it is by the Overcooked studio, and they're taking an approach in genre that while yes, Hazelight has been killing the whole split screen approach for years now, nobody has followed suit yet. Absolutely nobody has followed suit. And if there is one studio that can hit co-op on the level of Hazelight, it probably is a studio that has made one of the best co-op games of the generation, and that is the Overcooked studio. Ghost Story or Ghost Town? Ghost Town, I think it is. And so I'm very excited for it, and I really do love the art style. And again, your point that the fact that instead of like, okay, you both are on the same level doing things, like It Takes Two and stuff like that. This one is each side is a completely different level in a completely different world and scene. But they still somehow connect with each other. I think that's really cool. Like in the trailer, when the right dude is running, he steps on a button that then activates a light on the left side that freezes a monster, and it's really really cool. But also the whole trailer presentation I thought was really good. The way, especially if you were there in person, I wasn't, but like if you saw it, like in the video, the whole like stage went like black, and then like the two characters came out on stage and like opened up the like split screen thing, and it was just really cool, a really fun trailer. I think it is a sleeper pick. This was definitely one that's been going higher on my list the more I watch it, and I just think it looks really neat, really really neat. And then Dispatch is the other one that I picked. This is typically not a game I'm interested in. Like I've had my fair share of Telltale stuff. Like I really enjoy like The Walking Dead and like the Guardians of the Galaxy one and some other things from Telltale, but they've never been games that I've really like been excited for or like loved or anything. But this one is kind of hitting me a little bit different because I really love the concept. Because I mean, you guys know I'm a big fan of superheroes, and the whole concept is you are somebody who is trying to become a superhero, and instead you get put into the role of managing this like superhero organization, and you have to make choices to send this superhero out on this mission or that mission. And depending if you make the right decisions, those superheroes might end up dying in like these really funny or just crazy ways. And then and all of this is happening while you're waiting for your moment to become a superhero. And I really love that idea. It's just such a fun like idea where if you take a bunch of really cool personalities Like, this game has Laura Bailey, it has Moist Critical, it has Jacksepticeye. Like, if you take a lot of these personalities and put them into such a fun little concept like that with just superheroes and, like, something you don't ever get. Like, these are completely original superheroes, too. This isn't, like, DC or Marvel or anything. Just, like, it reminds me of The Boys in a way. And it seems really fun. And just knowing that it's coming from the creators of, like, The Wolf Among Us and some of the Telltale stuff. And the fact that there are so many big names behind this. I hate to say it. I get it. An actor doesn't make a game. It like, just because an actor is in it doesn't mean the game's going to be great. But it usually is a sign. If you get this many big names in a project, these people saw something in the project that looked promising. And so to me, that is definitely a green flag, as well as just I really love the animations. It kind of reminds me of, like, Invincible, like the art style a little bit. Definitely nowhere near as bloody. Who knows? They might be.
I've mostly just said it reminds me so much of Hi-Fi Rush. Like, it really does.
Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush too. I can see that. And yeah, I think this is gonna be a fun game. This is definitely what I'm looking forward to. I don't know if I'm gonna end up loving it. I don't know if I'm just gonna end up, like, not really into it. But I just think that the concept is there. The names are behind it are there. I think the trailer was really solid, and I think it looks pretty fun. And I think it's absolutely sleeper pit. Like, I've seen a bunch of people be like, low-key, Dispatch was kind of like a standout for me. I've seen a lot of, like, names that, like, I watch on podcasts or videos be like that. And it'll also just be really fun to hear some of these voice actors do their thing. So, like, I'm so curious what Moist Critical's like role is. You know what I mean? Like,
he's the bat.
He's the bat. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he like comes up. He's like, what are you gonna do with that?
Like, dude, see, I think that this is gonna be a really fun game. Like, I really do. I don't think I'm gonna, like, cry or, like, be like, yo, this is one of the best stories I've ever seen. I just think, like, I'm gonna be laughing. I'm gonna be, like, making these choices, because we know Telltale's pretty good with all that stuff. And I'm gonna be like, low key, bro, I'm having a good time when playing this. Like, for real.
Yeah.
Did this game get released at all? I honestly have no idea.
No release date.
No release. Okay. But yeah, I'm excited for it.
I'm just not. I don't know. I understand where you're coming from. I don't know. It's just not my typical. And I feel like those games have just never been really my thing.
Unless it's,
to be honest, it's like the whole. Okay, to be honest with you, the only reason I so want it so bad is mostly because I have friends that love it, that literally adore it, that literally would kill for it. I have watched a friend play it, and I loved it. I loved watching him play. But I'm starting to get to that point where I'm like, maybe I should end up, like, playing one of them. But I feel like I've hopped on that hype train with my friends as well. It's just like, I have, really enjoyed the first one from what I've seen. And I feel like the second one just may end up being even better. But I don't know if it's ever going to come out. So
yeah, I have no idea.
Now with this, I'll be honest, I really don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. But we'll see as time goes on. We'll see. I'm not gonna make any promises or anything. I'm actually gonna do
Game Pass game. If
it would, yes.
Studio, that'd be a really good Game Pass game.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and do 2 just to kind of, like, do a quick, just because it's like I don't really have a lot.
Sure.
There's only like 5 other things I would think I would talk about. So I'm just gonna go through 2. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds didn't really show, like, anything at all, but to be honest, I mean, you kind of know what you're getting from it. Hopefully it's gonna be more intriguing than the last one, because I think the last one wasn't as liked as much as the ones before. We shall see, though. I wish it was Sonic Riders. I really do. I'm really upset they keep going to Sonic Racing. I think they need to stop. If they want, I think they need to stop. In my opinion, I think the only reason they're doing it is because they're trying to rival Mario Kart, and I think they need to stop. I think they need to do something different that separates it more. which is these hoverboards that are so awesome and so much more fun to grind on rails and all this wacky stuff. Like Zero Gravity is my personal favorite, even though I think the fan favorite is the GameCube version. I really wish they go back to Riders, but we'll see how racing does. And then I have to actually play Tekken 8. There, like I have to. Like I played it for a little bit, and then yeah, they just put Clive from Final Fantasy 16 in Tekken instead of Tifa, which I'm still kind of shocked about, but in ways I'm not, because of Square as a company, but also like just the way it was advertised, because like the background was orange, which would make sense for a character like Clive, who has a lot of like flames and stuff. But yeah, I have to play Tekken 8 now. Like there's no excuse. Like I literally have to.
Yeah.
And I'm super happy. I was so happy about it. And to all the people out there that say you should be in Soul Calibur, there is literally 4 or 5 characters in Tekken 8 I could name you that all have a sword and use it in Tekken.
Yep.
So, and last time I checked, there's no Soul Calibur, and I don't even know if we're ever gonna get another Soul
Who
Calibur.
knows?
So,
Bandai's too busy with Elden Ring. So.
yeah. And also, there was another Final Fantasy character that I think had a sword in Tekken 7 or something.
Yeah. I guess the next one. I mean, I'm pretty much done, but like there are some other ones I can bring up. Like the first Berserker Kazan got a release date for March like 27th or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
March is looking
really
pretty decent.
February is also really good.
Yeah, those 2 months are cooking up.
Yep. And then the other one is Shadow Labyrinth, which is like a Pac-Man Metroidvania mixed with horror. Which I did find out is it is like the secret level episode, but it's not like, it's not just like a reenactment of it. Like everyone's thinking like they made that secret level episode based on this game. It's just we didn't know about this game until now. So who knows? But
yeah, no, but it does look cool though. I'm hoping it's one of those sleeper Metroid, because there are a lot of sleeper Metroidvanias. There just is.
Yes, that's just the sleeper genre. Like
yeah. But we'll definitely have to see.
Is there any more for you? Because I think I covered everything.
Ninja Gaiden.
Yes.
I've come around a little bit more to that, because that's from the studio that's been quite hot recently.
Yeah.
TMNT, Shredder's Revenge. They've been on a hot streak, so definitely a game to look out for. I think the last game, which I want to talk about more, but I just can't, because we literally don't know like barely anything. I just know the look of it is like so weird. Like it's so unique, but like you have no idea what is happening.
The one I was about to say,
the Shadow of the Colossus team.
Yeah. So this one I'm actually really excited for. Which is funny because I just this year played Shadow of the Colossus for the first time, and while I think it's really great and I really enjoyed it, I think it's kind of overrated. Like there are people who say it's like one of the greatest games of all time, and like IGN had it at number 2 of top 100 PlayStation games of all time. I think that's crazy. I get why it's really good, and I'm not downplaying its quality. It is a very good like game, and it's very creative, but I definitely did not like love it like everyone else does. But with that being said, the dude, the creator, I forget his name, Ueda something, or Ueda, I don't know, something like that. He is
I wouldn't even try to pronounce it anymore.
He is a very good game creator, and he obviously made The Last Guardian and Shadow Colossus and ICO or Eco, I don't know. And
yeah, that's right.
And basically,
Eco.
he announced his next game here, and it basically looks like Shadow of the Colossus, but with like these giant Pacific Rim robots, like these just giant mechs in a way. And I think that's a really, really cool idea. Taking the whole Shadow of the Colossus like style and just making them giant sci-fi robots instead. Like the whole game is gonna be sci-fi instead. And I think that's really cool. And also the trailer, the whole like countdown until you like the big wave or whatever, sonic boom, whatever hits you. I think is like really interesting. But yeah, we know nothing about it. It's literally called Project Robot, is what it's called. And so, yeah, we know nothing about it, but we know who's making it, and he's like considered one of the best of all time. So that's always something. And I mean, the trailer was interesting. Like it caught all of our attention. That's for sure. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing more about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much like everything that I can think, like all the stuff that I'm like interested in, really.
Yep.
Which is a lot.
It is. It really is.
And plus, we still have more of next year to go. I mean, we're gonna have
Xbox Developer
events.
Direct. We have the Nintendo Direct to show whatever the next console is. I'm sure we're gonna have a
Hopefully
PlayStation State of
PlayStation.
Play. Yep. Resi Evil not. No. Bro.
Dude, who knows? Like, I'm just happy to be excited about the future. Like, not even just
Also,
next year. Just
there have been people saying Intergalactic might be next year. I think they're kind of crazy, but
we'll see. We'll see.
So
we'll see. You never know anymore. You never know.
So here's the thing.
You never know.
250 people have been working on this game since 2020, meaning 4 years.
Well, yeah.
The timetable could kind of line up, but I still don't think it's gonna happen. I still think it's very unlikely.
Well, it also depends because they probably after Last of Us, like it didn't go through. Maybe like they've moved more people over there, so it's like they definitely have more than like we'll see. I think it's pushing it. I would say 2026 at the earliest because I think it's pushing it a little too much. Because I think they're really gonna try to.
I will say there are so many games that we thought for sure were gonna be here that just weren't. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many games. Like, where are they? They're supposed to come out next year, but we know nothing, bro. Watch Xbox just do like a January showcase instead of a direct. Like what the heck?
That'd be crazy.
But
we know they're coming though. Like some games that are supposed to come out this next year. Like we know they're there. It's just I just think some of them have been locked in to
Doom,
personal
Metroid,
events.
Fable, Judas, Replaced, Death Stranding 2, Metal Gear Delta. I cannot believe that wasn't there.
It's either Xbox or Sony. Either one.
South of Midnight. Chronos: The New Dawn, FBC: Firebreak, Marvel 1943, Reanimal, Pokemon Legends Z through A, 33 Immortals, Little Nightmares 3, Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers.
Man, it's just going through everything.
I mean, there's so much. I mean, there really is so much, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But that's going to do it. That's going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for watching.
Yep.
I know it's a long one, but we had to cover everything. I mean, we had to do it.
Literally, we talk about what we like and what we saw. So I'm happy. Wish we could have got, of course, Jordan and Christian as well as a surprise guest, but it is what it is. I'll eventually talk to Christian about it because I want to know what he really enjoyed.
I mean, I could just tell you, but
what have you talked to him?
No, but I just know Christian, so
you're just like, I already know because that's my guy.
Bro, he likes what he likes,
Yeah.
But anyway. There's gonna be a lot of videos coming on the channel. We are locked in, and I'm gonna keep that momentum going into 2025. We're gonna be doing so much content, so much goodness. We're gonna be streaming, gonna be playing a lot of games here this next week. A lot of good stuff coming your way. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Johnny Morales, peace.